Champions League final. The world's biggest events are on Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports!
Today on Fox Saturday Baseball, interleague rivalries become intra-state feuds. In the Subway Series, old wounds die hard.
There's just that buzz around the city, you know? Those 6 games really divide alliances in the city.
While in Chicago, the rivalry between the South Side Sox and the North Side Cubs is on.
The Cubs-White Sox rivalry is extreme dislike for the other team.
There's no back and forth. It's either Cubs or Sox, and the fans really hate each other. And there's fights in the stands and fights on the fields.
And not to be outdone, it's a battle for Ohio when the Indians head to Cincinnati to challenge the Reds for in-state supremacy. It's rivalry weekend on Fox Saturday Baseball, and it starts right now.
Welcome to the AT&T pregame show on Fox. AT&T Rethink Possible. We are in New York, which this weekend is a city divided. It is round 2 of the Subway Series. The Yanks took the series opener last night and have won 3 of 4 this year against the Mets. 2 of the many stars on display are Mark Teixeira, whose 25 home runs is actually second best in the bigs, and Jose Reyes, whom A-Rod called the best player on the planet earlier this week. Hi, everybody, live from New York. It's Fox Saturday Baseball. And in just a few minutes, most of you will stay here for the Subway Series for an intriguing starting pitching matchup. The Yanks send out 38-year-old right-hander Bartolo Colon against the Mets' fine young rookie Dylan Gee, who eyes his 9th win this year. Others are off to the Windy City to see the Cubs and the White Sox do battle. Paul Konerko, he's in the top 5 in the AL in batting, homers, and RBI. And welcome back Marlon Byrd, activated off the DL today for the first time since taking a pitch to the face 6 weeks ago. He is batting 6th. And the rest of you will see if Asdrubal Cabrera and the Tribe can make it 5 straight wins over the Reds. Cabrera went deep last night, while Brandon Phillips' solo shots accounted for Cincinnati's lone runs. Well, tomorrow the likes of Phillips and Cabrera will find out if they make the cut for the All-Star team. Of course, that is a game you can see right here a week from Tuesday night on Fox. It is a game that has starred the likes of Babe Ruth all the way down to Bo Jackson and everyone in between. Well, right now, let's find out who today's players loved in the All-Star game.
Favorite All-Star memory, watching it as a kid, watching Bo Jackson. He is an athlete that made this game look really easy.
And look at that one. Bo Jackson says hello.
Torrey Hunter, you know, he was my big brother / idol, you know, when I got drafted to the Twins. I just remember Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds.
Didn't get his arms extended as he raises one into right center field. At the wall. What a catch.
It wasn't kind of just a little one either. You know, it was up and over, and it was vintage Torrey Hunter.
I think my first All-Star game was probably my favorite. I was on first base when that bat hit Lasorda. You look around and you're like, man, I can't believe I'm here.
It was the first time I saw Cal Ripken in the same locker room as me, and he came through and all the media members opened up like the Red Sea, and he welcomed me to the All-Star game, and that was a pretty cool experience. And then when we exchanged from short to third, that was kind of an epic moment that I'll never forget.
That show that Josh put on in the Homer Derby was just incredible. I mean, it was almost out-of-body experience. Like, there's no way that he hits this next ball out, and he just kept going.
I got to meet President Obama, but having him come into the locker room, in St. Louis.
What's going on, How
are you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, got some more.
This is my local guy here. My Hawaiian guy. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That was a very big moment for me.
My favorite's easy. First one, San Francisco. Rod Crew was my favorite guy growing up, and Rod was on the team that year. He gave me a bat. That was pretty cool.
MLB.com's Midsummer Classics tourney is down to the final 2 All-Star moments. Cal Ripken Jr.'s 2001 Swan Song against Stan the Man's game-ending home run in the 55 Classic. Go to MLB.com/moments to place your vote. And, of course, Tuesday, July 12th, it's the All-Star game right here on Fox. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Well, we're going to keep you updated on all the scores and highlights from around the Bigs, and that includes Doc Halliday's return trip to Toronto for the first time as a Philadelphia Philly. Find out how he did and if he could go the distance. But up next, we're going to get you out to your game. Most of you will stay right here at Citi Field for the battle between the Yankees and the Mets. Others are off to the north side of Chicago. Will somebody finally smile on the Cubs, or will the White Sox make it 2 straight over the North Siders? The rest of you get the battle of the Buckeye State. Tribe and Reds swinging it. We'll get you out to your game next on Fox.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
Mom, you've got to try this Publix premium frozen yogurt. I've had every flavor, but Moose Tracks are definitely my favorite. Vanilla frozen yogurt, mini peanut butter cups, and swirls of fudge mixed in. Sounds like total indulgence, right? It has less fat and calories than ice cream, so I don't mind having a little with the kids. These are all really good. I'm pretty sure you're gonna love this one. While knowing what we serve is important, I can't say enough about it. Moose Tracks? Knowing who we serve matters even more. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
How to choose car insurance without feeling like you've been ripped off. Take identical cars. One covered by Geico, the other by 21st Century. Then you file the same claim. Let's say, theft. Both are covered. Both get new stereos. But Florida drivers who switch to 21st save around $472 a year. Now that's a steal. Call 888-620-2121. 21st Century Insurance. The same great coverage for less.
What a day, what a weekend in New York City, and we get ready for interleague baseball and the Subway Series, the Yankees and Mets, today on Fox. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming right up. These two clubs met earlier in the season, but now there's more juice to this series. The Mets had a good week of interleague play, but they're taking on the hottest team in baseball, a team that's scoring a ton of runs and a team that's pitching great out of their rotation. And Tim, today, the Yankees get Bartolo Colon back.
Before spring training started this year, Yankee general manager Brian Cashman had the wherewithal to sign Bartolo Colon to a minor league contract as insurance, and has he ever paid dividends for this team?
Yeah, and on the other side, Dylan G gets the ball. He's lost only once as a rookie.
And the Mets have won 11 of his 12 starts. Dylan G has a chance to do what only 3 other Met rookie pitchers have done, and that's go to the All-Star game.
It is 4th of July weekend. We are in the best place in the world, New York, and it's the Subway Series. Mets and Yanks, next on Fox.
Gotta go get a soda. Be right back.
Santa, my man.
Making a Pepsi.
Pepsi?
Yeah, Pepsi.
But Mr. Claus, I thought you had to deal with,
I'm on vacation. I want to have a little fun.
Summertime is Pepsi time. Naughty. Nice.
Now we can watch a newspaper, listen to a magazine, curl up with a movie, and see a phone call. Now we can take a classroom anywhere, hold an entire bookstore, and touch the stars. Because now there's this.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead. They'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Just because I'm a car guy doesn't mean I don't care about the environment.
I also care about doing things right.
And what I'm leaving behind for the next car guy.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Only at Burger King.
Get ready for the biggest night of the summer. It's the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game in primetime. The National League takes on the American League as the greatest players in baseball take center stage for the Midsummer Classic. The 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, live July 12th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox.
Well, what is going to unfold here today? It is warm, it is 83 degrees, it is humid, and it's the Mets and the Yankees today on Fox. Opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And now the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Yankees, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. There it is, no surprises. Gardner, Granderson, Teixeira, the top three. A-Rod, Cano, Swisher in the middle. Russell Martin does the catching. Eduardo Nunez is still filling in for Derek Jeter, who may come back on Monday. And then Bartolo Colon right off the DL and right onto the mound, taking on Dylan G, who has been great.
Dylan has not had his real good stuff his last two starts, against Oakland 2 starts ago and then against the Texas Rangers. But you know, that's the maturation of a pitcher, Joe, is when a young man can go out there and win without his good stuff, and he's been able to do that. His name has matched his performance. I guess it's a good thing his name's not Bludgeon, right? Mets are 11-1 in his starts, and he's abandoned the slider. Said it was rolling, he was getting under it a little bit too much, and he throws that cutter, and it has served him well.
Who is standing behind him defensively for the Mets? Their defensive alignment is brought to you by Scott's. Jason Bay in the outfield and left, Pagan in center, Beltran in right. And around the infield, it's Murphy, Reyes, Turner, and Duda. Catcher is Tolley, and right in front of him, Brett Gardner digs his way in. Yankees check into this game winners of 6 straight, winners of 16 of their last 20, and they are 18 games over 500. And a bunt, a beauty, and a beautiful play for the out, turned in by Murphy from third, 1 away.
What a play by Daniel Murphy. Look at that bare hand. There was a time in baseball where that was an unusual play, but I think Scott Rowland of the Cincinnati Reds made it more routine. He was the first guy that I saw to make it on a regular basis, and now a lot of third basemen do that.
Brings in Granderson, who has hit 21 home runs and is 5th in the AL with 56 RBIs. Strike 1 from G. And the next from the rookie right-hander is up and away, ball 1. Dylan G, who used to throw much harder, he said he could touch 95 on a radar gun, but he has a tear in his labrum. So he is much more of a pitcher than he was when he was drafted 663rd overall, the 21st round back in 07 by the Mets. Called up last year, and he is 8-1 this year. Bottom falls out of that pitch on a changeup, and the count 2-2. Meanwhile, we haven't even had a chance to tell you what a great season Granderson is having so far as he strikes out. 2 gone. Back-to-back changeups, and strikeout number 1.
That's how much Dylan G has matured when you can throw a hitter of Granderson's stature back-to-back changeups and have it be so effective. And that's what Terry Collins said that G would have to do against this tough Yankee lineup.
There's a ball up and away to Teixeira, who is tied for first in the big leagues with his 25 home runs. Tied with Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays, who lost earlier today to Philly. And I understand in my ear a little birdie named Pete Macheska, our producer, tells me that Jose Bautista did homer. So now he has 26. Teixeira was trying to tie him with that swing, and it's strike 2.
Roy Halladay pitching a complete game. He won that game in Toronto, but Bautista with a home run off Doc.
And Teixeira just got a piece. And there are some of the numbers from the 5-3 win. The Phillies rallied last night to win, and today was more conventional, winning 5-3 behind yet another complete game from Halladay. 2-2.
Also, second baseman of the Phillies off the disabled list about 6 weeks ago, Chase Utley on a tear.
Well, they thought he was done.
Yeah.
Would need serious knee surgery to come back, and he rehabilitated himself to get to the point where now he is that presence in their lineup that they were missing while he was down in Clearwater and trying to figure out a way to get back with a big league club. Counts 2-2 on Teixeira with 2 out, nobody on. And a good start for Dylan G. The rookie sets him down 1-2-3 after a half. In Queens, no score.
Now we're hitting the road with the Pro Glide Challenge. Yo, my friend, come on down here. What do you think about that Pro Glide?
Yeah, this is great. Feels good on my sensitive skin. I don't feel like I'm shaving.
Fusion Pro Glide is engineered with Gillette's thinnest blades ever.
It feels like it's doing the work for me.
So it glides for less tug and pull.
It was smooth. This was fantastic. I'm having way too much fun with this razor.
Turn shaving into gliding with Fusion Pro Glide.
I'm a believer.
He is a believer! Yeah! Gillette Fusion Pro Glide.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Does the buck stop here? Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is having a snowball fight with pitching great Randy Johnson a bad idea?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe this was a bad idea.
Before you say anything, it was 1995.
It was 93.
Kenny, 1995 was the year the song came out.
93.
That was your 5th year of high school. It was 1995.
$10 says it's 93.
Yeah, well, that's $10 you're gonna have to put in my pocket.
Whatever. Well, there it is. It was 93.
It was clearly 1990. Kenny, the restaurant's on fire. I'll call you back.
Wait.
Only AT&T's network lets your iPhone talk and surf at the same time.
38-year-old right-hander Bartolo Colon takes on this lineup for the Mets, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Reyes, Turner, Beltran at the top with Daniel Murphy, Angel Pagan, and Jason Bay in the middle. Lucas Duda gets the start at first. Josh Tolley and Dylan G. Bartolo Colon, Tim, did not have a rehab start. He had a simulated game he worked through on Monday, coming off that left hamstring injury, and that hamstring is under a lot of pressure to carry that big body around, and he injured himself against the Cleveland Indians on the 11th of June.
And you wonder how many people and how many baseball fans that are we're covering about, what, 80% of the country today, are tuning in just to see this at bat and see how hot Jose Reyes has been.
There's a strike over the outside corner, and you can expect a lot of that 90-plus. Nobody throws more fastballs around the big leagues than Bartolo Colon.
That's right.
That one hits 94, hits the corner, it's 0-2. And Reyes, well, I mean, there's so many things to say about this guy. We almost had to wait for the next at bat. That barely missed low in the count 1-2.
An encyclopedia of statistics right here.
And just a lot of life. Rodriguez said he's the best player in the world. going right now. Alex Rodriguez of the Yankees, and well, he's #1 in triples, #1 in hits, #1 in multiple hit games, #1 in runs, leads the league in average, and a free agent to be. Spoils the pitch as his hometown fans are chanting for Jose Reyes here in his first at bat. This place is alive. We got some life in this park here today.
It certainly does.
Especially when number 7's at the plate. Tough play, Cano was going to try and flip it out of the glove, base hit.
Reyes jammed on the play. Robinson Cano tried to flip it with his glove unsuccessfully. And Reyes opens up the game with a base hit.
We have Ken Rosenthal with us here today, and we will talk to Kenny, if not now, certainly shortly, about the future for Jose Reyes, the future for Carlos Beltran, who's on deck with Turner digging in. Certainly Francisco Rodriguez, who is now the closer for the Mets, on a team that's playing .500 ball and chasing the best team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, who have the most wins in the major leagues. Strike one on Turner. How about that? He's reached base in each of his last 8 first inning plate appearances. You talk about a guy who gets on and makes things happen. Nobody's better. Reyes also has 6 straight where he has multiple hit games. And he is 1 for 1 today with an infield hit, as Turner waits for an 0-1. Instead, a check on Reyes, who's #2 in steals with 30.
Bartolo Colon weighs 265 pounds, but even with a bad hamstring, you wouldn't know it because he has very quick feet and a very good move to first base. But if Reyes gets a good jump, forget it.
Good pitch in on the hand, strike 2. Turner has fallen on some tough times at the plate. Was hitting .337 through the end of May. May 30th, just .220 since. And he's been dealing with a jammed thumb. He is happy to see June behind him, hoping for a better July.
Well, that last pitch is not good for a jammed thumb, right in on the hands. But Turner does have a knack for going the other way with 2 strikes.
Skips in, and a clean pick by Russell Martin, the Yankee catcher.
Well, that's a good play. That backhand pick out of the dirt. Russell Martin very good on the balls in the dirt, and A.J. Burnett, who throws a lot of breaking balls in the dirt, can testify to that. Fine reactions by Martin.
Martin, who has thrown out 15 of 58 potential base stealers. That's a breaking ball and strikeout #1. Good pitch from Bartolo Colon.
First breaking ball of the game thrown by Colon, and it is a beauty. Good slider to get Turner.
I'm glad you mentioned that as Beltran digs in. About the job that Russell Martin has done behind the plate and what he has done specifically for A.J. Burnett. That has been a good working relationship with Martin in his first year with the Yankees. So much was made the past couple of years about A.J. Burnett right there and his battering mates, whether it was Posada, Jose Molina, Francisco Cervelli. But now it's Russell Martin, and the two have worked well. The 0-1. Outside, and Russell Martin is the leading vote getter behind the plate at the catching position, with the All-Star game coming up on July 12th.
Started the 2007 All-Star game. Only 2 catchers before him, Ted Simmons and Terry Kennedy, have started All-Star games behind the plate from both leagues.
I don't know if you even read our graphics, but that bottom line on the percentage, 26% for Russell Martin, as you see the other two to have done it, to start and catcher in each league. Ted Simmons, Terry Kennedy. The combination predominantly of Posada and Cervelli threw out only 12% of potential base stealers last year. So Martin's been an improvement.
Well, if Reyes, again, if he gets a jump, you're not going to throw him out. I'm surprised he hasn't run with Beltran up there. You can understand it with Turner because he's a right-handed batter. But a base runner, and Reyes obviously knows that, has a much better chance against left-handed hitters because catchers really can't see because the left-handed hitter is a problem. He's in the way.
Full count. And we'll see how the Mets want to play it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Beltran, who is the team leader in home runs, 9th in the National League with 54 RBIs. He is in his walk year as well, proving that his knees are healthy. Here's a 3-2. Reyes is caught and gets back as it's dropped by Nunez. A strikeout at the plate. Reyes was kind of tiptoeing down to second, was caught, but Nunez took his eye off the throw from Russell Martin.
Well, the reason for that is with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes, the runner at first has to make sure the pitcher goes home. You don't get the jump that you would normally get. So that's why Reyes went back to first base. The ball is juggled by Nunez, and Reyes is back. I don't think an error would be given, but you could give an error from a common sense standpoint on that play.
Yeah, I think you could. They have not. Nunez has committed 10. He also hit over 300 in place of Derek Jeter. And since Jeter went down, the Yankees have gone 13-3. Murphy grounds to Cano. Nice play. Inning over after 1. At Citi Field as Cano shows off his range. No score.
Blimey, why does everything from America have to be so big?
Come on, baby.
Mais c'est presque aussi gros que leur SUV. What are you supposed to do with it? Slice it and maybe share it amongst the team.
Taco Bell's new XXL grilled stuffed burrito. We start with steak, then add 3 cheeses, then add seasoned rice and beans, then add fiesta salsa and top it off with even more of your favorites. It's not just XL, it's XXL. Think outside the bun.
The truth? It's big, baby. That's the truth. 23 knockouts. And wins big, too. That's the truth. So when the Truth heard DirecTV was offering the biggest, most popular TV package at the best price ever, let's just say the truth knows a knockout when he sees one.
That's the truth.
Now, get the best offer of the year, baby. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
You're getting a divorce? Yeah. Heard you crying in the bathroom. We all thought it was cancer.
Oh.
Thank God.
That's my relationship.
Your wife cheated on you because you lost sight of who you are as a man, a husband, and probably as a lover. I'm gonna help you rediscover your manhood.
What do you want to do with me?
I want to show you off to my ex-wife, make her really jealous.
Crazy, stupid love.
Are most women like that these days?
God bless technology.
God
really
bless it.
Rated PG-13. Starts July 29th.
Dad? It's time. You'd be a really nice catch for somebody. Please?
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can start something great.
Yes!
Just for Men.
Hey, this is Senior Airman Thomas, coming from Southwest Asia. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I want to give a shout out to all my fam, my friends all over New York City, all the boroughs. Hi, Eric. Hi, Chris. Hi, Grandma, Grandpa. Hopefully you guys see this. Go Mets.
And we're thinking of all men and women in the armed services on this weekend, 4th of July weekend. Those currently serving and certainly those who have served this great country in years past. As Alex Rodriguez stands in. A 1-2-3 first inning for Dylan G. And he deals with Rodriguez, Cano, and Swisher here in the second. Good movement to that pitch. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, strike one. Breaking ball stays up and in, a ball and a strike. G had a ground out of Gardner. Good play on a bunt. Then struck out the next two in the first and now gives up his first hit. It belongs to Rodriguez, who is red hot. And the 4 keys to the game.
As far as the Yankees are concerned, keep getting early outs in the inning. They lead the majors in retiring the leadoff batter. On the other hand, they're the best in the majors at getting their leadoff men on base. As far as the Mets, move on. 2 losses, forget about it.
Gives you a chance to say it in our graphics department, a chance to type it.
But more importantly, it gives me a chance to spell it. It took 15 minutes to spell forget about it today in the truck.
1 on with nobody out for Cano. We said this a couple of weeks ago, but it bears repeating that Robinson among second basemen since 09 made only 3 errors all of last year. Has already made 6 this year, but what you get on the other side is a guy who can pound the ball out of any part of the park. And he hits a rocket. Turner to Reyes on to first for a double play. Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by DirecTV. Now get DirecTV's best offer of the year. Started to say as Swisher stands in that Cano is among second baseman #1 in batting average, slugging percentage, RBIs. Hit it hard, but it just made the job of Turner and Reyes that much easier to turn to. The batter is Swisher, who is on fire. Ball 1 up and away.
Double play situations, we've talked about it before. It's one of the most unusual in baseball because pitchers want the hitter to hit the ball hard, but they want it hit hard to a middle infielder so the double play can be turned.
That ball is a rocket up into the air and foul. But Nick's been doing a lot of that lately. First 46 games, hit .206. He has hit .320 since with 8 of his 10 home runs.
Nick was talking last night after the game. He told one of the writers that this ballpark is like a cemetery. It does not carry.
Pitch is off the inside corner, 2-1. Some interesting thoughts flashed through the mind of Nick Swisher during the course of a 24-hour period. The 2-1. 3-1. And he is always one of the game's most patient hitters. Despite his hyperactivity and always jumping around and always talking, and that's what he brings to this team, he is very patient as he takes a walk. And it brings in Russell Martin.
Seems like Dylan G once again very composed on the mound. I was talking to Howie Rose, the radio broadcaster for the Mets. Howie saying that he thinks Dylan will be less amped for this game against the Yankees than he was last week against the Rangers. He worked in the parking lot of Texas Rangers Stadium as a teenager, parking cars. And he had 40 or 50 passes last week, family and friends, at the ballpark when he beat the Rangers. Not one of his best efforts, but he won the game.
Pretty good velocity here today. That 91-mile-an-hour fastball had a lot of movement to it. Martin waits for the 0-1 and takes another strike. There are the struggles for Russell Martin since the end of April. Got off to a great start in this his first year in a Yankee uniform. The 0-2. Up and away, and it's been 3 straight fastballs to Russell Martin. Dylan is 25 years old. And as Tim mentioned in the start, Mets are 11-1 in his 12 starts. Rookie right-hander strikes out his 3rd. Bottom of the 2nd. Mets coming up, no score.
Because I had a good teacher, I learned about more than cars.
I like responsibility.
Doing things right.
Dad.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Only at Burger King.
The new Droid Incredible 2. I could use a smartphone with social apps to stay up on what my friends are doing. And it's global, so I'll know what they're doing while they're doing it, even when I travel. I'll have to act surprised when they tell me stuff. I don't have a good surprised face. Maybe I can look up videos of surprised people on my new phone for reference. Yep, I really want that phone.
Upgrade to the new Droid Incredible 2 by HTC with global capabilities for only $149.99. Now on America's largest, most reliable high-speed network, Verizon.
Wars are fought with weapons, but they are won by men.
You just don't know when to give up.
I can do this all day. Our goal is to create a new breed of super soldier.
What do you think?
I think it works.
Why me? I believe that in every human being, there is great potential.
I don't know if I can do this.
This is why you were chosen.
The women of America owe you their thanks.
Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. I'm here with my bud, Tim McCarver, and up above, our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. To get the best offer of the year, call 1-800-DirecTV. We're also joined by our bud, Ken Rosenthal, and we are glad he is here. There's plenty to talk about as pitch number 1 is a fastball for a strike to Angel Pagan. With that, I look down in the corner of the dugout, and Kenny is at the ready. Bow tie on as Pagan grounds to short. 1 away. Hey, Kenny, Sandy Alderson, who is the GM of the Mets, has to kind of navigate some treacherous area now to figure out what to do with this team going forward this season.
Right, Joe, obviously the big question is, will the Mets stay in contention? If they don't, it becomes a lot easier to start talking about trading Jose Reyes, Carlos Beltran, and of course Frankie Rodriguez. But if they are in it, trading Reyes in particular would be difficult. I had a rival executive tell me today, if that happens, then the fans here will burn down Citi Field.
Well, as you look at those 3 players, as a strike is in to make it 0-2 on Jason Bay, who's hoping to come around with a bat. You've got a limited no-trade clause with Frankie Rodriguez and an interesting clause in the contract, Kenny, of Carlos Beltran with regard to the Mets not being able to offer him salary arbitration next year if he becomes a free agent.
Yes, and that increases, obviously, the motivation for the Mets to move him, because if they can't offer him arbitration, then they can't get draft picks if he leaves as a free agent. But Beltran is kind of complicated in a couple of ways, Joe. One, he is earning $18.5 million, so there's going to have to be some financial exchange in the deal. And also, he has a full no trade. So what does that mean? Well, he and his agent, Scott Boras, will effectively choose their next club, and it will be in the best spot for Beltran going forward into free agency, and not necessarily the best deal for the Mets.
Bay flies out to right as Swisher hauls it in, 2 out.
Seems to me that by far, Carlos Beltran is the most likely to be traded before July 31st. I agree with Ken. I don't think there's any way the Mets can afford to get rid of Reyes, but I think they will get rid of Carlos Beltran.
And the other guy is Francisco Rodriguez, their closer, who has that clause in his contract where if he finishes 55 games, a $17.5 million option kicks in next year. Limited no trade clause or not, I think he would get my vote as the most likely to move out of a Mets uniform.
Well, the thing is, I think you can move Beltran and get more for Carlos than you would for Rodriguez. That's just a subjective view. But a team like the Red Sox, interestingly, very, very interested in Carlos Beltran.
Especially with the comments by their general manager, Theo Epstein, during the week. Here's a shot into right. Epstein said, we're not getting any production out of right field. That will change.
Right.
Either in-house or by bringing someone else in. Cologne through 2, so are we. No score.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
Your attention, please. Experience the extraordinary. See Blue Man Group live at the Sharp Aquos Theater at Universal Orlando. Visit universalorlando.com for special offers on today's hottest entertainment. You don't just see Blue Man Group, you become a part of it.
There's a reason it's become a household name. Actually, there are 25. Only one vehicle has made Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record 25 times. Innovative engineering, year after year. Presenting the one, the 34-mile-per-gallon Accord. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer.
Wachovia is now Wells Fargo. And moving forward, you'll start to see some new things. Like more innovative online tools to help you reach your financial goals. More ATMs and branches nationwide. And over 150 years of banking experience behind you. But there's one thing that won't change. Those same friendly faces you've come to know and trust will be with you when you want to move forward. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Will Fios really give me the best HD picture quality? Does Fios really have the fastest internet?
As Fios installers, we get a lot of questions we like to say yes to.
But the one question we get asked again and again,
do I have to sign a term contract?
And the answer simply is no. A service this good doesn't need a term contract.
Get 100% fiber optic TV and America's fastest internet. Switch to Fios today with the option of no term contract. Call now to get TV, internet, and phone, and you could get a free multi-room DVR for the life of your service. Call 1-888-GET-FIOS today. Fios, a network ahead.
Get Up with Good Day, weekend mornings on Fox 13.
Well, these are two teams meeting here today that have been racked by injuries. The Mets and the Yankees. But for the Mets, there is no bigger injury than the one that may have happened in the first inning with Jose Reyes injuring his hamstring. He is out of the ball game. We think it happened on his trip down to first on that infield hit. Then he was on that 3-2 pitch, tiptoeing down to second and didn't have any burst, and so Terry Collins is taking him out. And you're talking about, well, we've already said it, probably the most exciting player in the game here in 2011, a future free agent, as this one is lined into the left field corner off the bat of Nunez, who has a leadoff double. hitting over 300 since he replaced Derek Jeter in the lineup. And he went 4 for 4 last night. He's 1 for 1 today. But Tim, Reyes has had hamstring problems in the past. Right. 2 years ago, last year, he had a hyperactive thyroid, oblique strains that cost him games. And there is some inherent risk if you're Reyes or Pujols for the Cardinals, who is injured right now, saying, I'm not going to talk contract, put it off for the end of the year, that you're going to play, stay healthy, and walk into free agency as a healthy player. This may turn out to be nothing, but to come out of a game like this, you have to believe it's somewhat significant, the hamstring pull that Reyes just suffered. Here's Colon to bunt. Strike one.
Well, there's always more risk if you sign speed as a free agent as opposed to a guy like Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman for the Boston Red Sox. A guy who does not rely on his legs but his power to help a team. So you're going to get more risk with Jose Reyes. There's no doubt about it. Head first slider.
Colon drops down a perfect bunt. The bad hamstring certainly isn't running to first, and the sacrifice is good, moving Nunez to third, 1 out.
And about half the people here at Citi Field cheered, meaning that about half the people at Citi Field are Yankee fans. You could see slowing up there and then coming back to the bag. That little grimace of pain. And we questioned why he didn't run on the 3-2 pitch, why he went back to first base. Now we have our answer.
So either on the trip down the baseline or with that little stagger stop between first and second, and Reyes has to leave the game. We are going to involve Kenny as Gardner stands in. Runner at third, 1 out. Infield is in. And strike one on Gardner. Now we'll talk to Kenny. What about the perception that Reyes, who has had injuries the last couple of seasons, is fragile or injury prone, the free agent to be, potentially?
People talk, Joe, about the difference between Reyes and Carl Crawford, and durability is the big one. But when you look at Reyes' track record, he did average 158 games a season between 05 and 08. Played 133 games last year, so it's a bit of an unfair rap. And again, we don't know the significance of this hamstring issue just yet. We'll just have to see.
Runner at third, 1 out, 0-1 the count on Gardner, who has been very good in the leadoff spot for the Yankees since Jeter went down. A guy who was hitting 145 through the first 20 games of the year, hitting 318 since. 17 infield base hits, 6 bunt hits. Makes things happen with his legs. As the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, Brett Gardner, in my judgment, is the adhesive of this lineup. First 16 games were just horrible in April.
And now you look at the numbers in the 16 games since Jeter went down. In the leadoff spot, the numbers have been good between Gardner and Swisher. Play at home. Duda makes a good throw. 2 out.
That's why that was very good strategy, having the infield in. Lucas Duda, a good throw home, and a slap tag by Josh Tolley. That was a very good strategic play by the manager, Terry Collins. Normally you don't do that in the third inning.
Well, there's not a lot of normal right now going on with the Mets.
No, I mean you're not going to get a lot of offense out of this team, so therefore you have to cut down runs earlier than you might want to.
It's a team that's been piling up hits, but they are right toward the bottom of the National League in home runs. Third fewest in the league. They had that great run of 4 games between Texas and Detroit. where they scored 52 runs, but in 3 of those 4 games, they did not hit a home run.
Had 10 hits in last night's game, 10 singles. Here's that play on contact. Players from third base try to land on that right foot, but there's no way with the infield in that Nunez was going to beat that throw.
Granderson at the plate. The combo of Granderson and Teixeira, well, they have combined for 46 home runs. Curtis has 21 of them. Pitch out, and Gardner gets back. The total of home runs between Granderson and Teixeira is second for the Yankees. You go back to 1961 when the combo of Maris and Mantle had hit 60 through 80 games. Here comes a 1-1. There goes Gardner. A strike and a steal. Stolen base number 20.
That's what we were talking about earlier in the game when Reyes was at first, why it's more difficult for a catcher to throw with that left-handed batter up there. The left-hander is actually in the lane of the catcher trying to throw. So if the pitch is inside, you've got 2 things to worry about. The break of the runner at first and the left-handed hitter in the batter's box. Easy steal for Gardner.
And the count's 1-2. The pitch was a strike, and this should end the inning. Turner makes a play, and G, the rookie, does a great job of getting around a leadoff double after 2.5, no score.
Now through July 4th, get more bang for your buck at Lowe's. Stop by and get 3 for $10 on 2-quart perennials. That's 3 for just $10. Then start up that paint project with an instant $10 off every $50 you spend on paint and paint supplies. And when you're done, break out the grill with buy one, get one free on 16-pound bags of Kingsford charcoal. The savings are in the air 4th of July weekend at Lowe's. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Take care of your engine, and it'll go far. One way I can take care of my engine, One-A-Day Men's, a complete multivitamin for my overall health. Plus, it supports my heart health and helps maintain healthy blood pressure. Whoa. Kinda makes your heart race, huh?
The truth? It's big, baby. That's the truth. 23 knockouts and wins big, too.
That's the truth.
So when the truth heard DirecTV was offering the biggest, most popular TV package at the best price ever, let's just say the truth knows a knockout when he sees one.
That's the truth.
Now, get the best offer of the year, baby. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead. They'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
A kitchen should run like a well-oiled machine.
It's burnt! Start again!
Maybe somebody should tell that to the chefs in Hell's Kitchen.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Chef. I'm sorry, Chef. I'm sorry, Chef. It's my fault, Chef. I'm very sorry, Chef.
Monday, July 18th, your favorite cooking competition returns.
Hurry up! Overcooked! This is embarrassing!
With everything you love.
What are we gonna do now? Any suggestions?
Shut it down!
Good idea.
Shut it down!
Hell's Kitchen, 2-night premiere begins Monday, July 18th on Fox.
2 hits for the Yankees, 1 for the Mets, no runs. As we go into the bottom of the 3rd inning, totally G. And then Ruben Tejada, who has taken over for Jose Reyes. And the official word on Reyes, he felt tightness in his left hamstring on his trip down the first baseline in the 1st inning. And the Mets took him out for precautionary reasons. So hopefully that is nothing long term. But when you hear Reyes and hamstring, any Mets fan would think back to a couple of years ago when Jose had a tough time staying on the field.
Yeah, that's a bad connection. Reyes and hamstring.
Remember the previous regime tried to make him physically run differently than he had his entire life.
Yeah.
And that led to a lot of leg trouble for him. Trying to learn a new way to run.
It's too late.
And a strikeout for Cologne, number 3. How about who's behind Bartolo Colon defensively? And it's brought to you by Scott's. Gardner, Granderson, Swisher in the outfield. With A-Rod, Nunez, Cano, Teixeira, and Russell Martin catching Cologne. 1 out. Here's Dylan G., who played golf in high school. Still plays golf on off days in the big leagues, but the rookie is just 1 for 21. Swing of the bat. One ball, one strike.
Dylan from Cleburne, Texas. Now, where is that? It's 25 miles south of Fort Worth, or right next to Granbury. About 17 miles from Granbury. Now, you know where
everybody knows where Granbury is.
Of course.
Nunez to his left. Out number 2. Go ahead, Tim. Take us through with a little more about Dylan G.
I thought this was pronounced Cleburne, Texas, but no, it's Cleburne. C-L-E-B-U-R-N-E. And he met Nolan Ryan, his role model, last week, and became the first Mets rookie. Think about that with Tom Seaver, Doc Gooden, to go 7-0. Would become the 4th Mets rookie pitcher to appear in an all-star game. Seaver, Kuzman, it's Jerry Kuzman in '68, and Doc Gooden in 1984.
How about a chance to be on that list if you're Dylan G?
Boy.
Here is Tejada, first at bat. And if Reyes were to leave at the end of this year or via trade this season, Mets believe Tejada is the shortstop of the future. Mets fans want no part of that. They want to keep the guy they've got. And the count 0-2. Reyes with an infield single that cost him the rest of this game, straining his left hamstring. Good start to each at bat for Cologne with 8 of 10 first pitch strikes. And a strikeout on a 93-mile-per-hour tailing fastball. After 3, no score.
I'm just trying to think about what I want.
Why don't you say it at the same time? 1, 2, 3.
I want a divorce.
Creme brulee.
She's your soulmate, right? Go get her back.
How old are you?
There's lots of beautiful women in this bar, but I can't take my eyes off of you.
It's time to go home.
Should I pull the car around? Have you been drinking? I'll drive.
I should have fought for you.
Love sucks.
Man, are you growing up?
Crazy Stupid Love, rated PG-13, starts July 29th.
Just because I'm a car guy doesn't mean I don't care about the environment.
I also care about doing things right and what I'm leaving behind for the next car guy.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
Select 55 from Budweiser. The superior taste makes it Select. The 55 calories make it the lightest beer in the world.
This is the network, a network of possibilities. In here, the planned combination of AT&T and T-Mobile would deliver our next-generation mobile broadband experience to 55 million more Americans, many in small towns and rural communities, giving them a new choice. We'll deliver better service with thousands of new cell sites for greater access to all the things you want whenever you want them. It's the AT&T network, and what's possible in here is almost impossible to say.
You put a lot of effort into creating the perfect evening. So we put a lot of effort into creating the perfect tortilla chip. Introducing new Tostitos Artisan Recipes. Made with real ingredients cooked right in for flavor you can see and taste in every bite. Because when we put in the very best, what you end up with only gets better. Experience new Tostitos Artisan Recipes.
Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Warner Brothers Pictures' Crazy Stupid Love in theaters July 29th and by Valvoline Next Gen.
Crazy Stupid Love. Is that redundant?
Into the fourth we go as Tim reveals something about his personal life with Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Cano. Part of the order for Dylan G. Had a chance to talk to Joe Girardi during the break. And it'll come your way provided Pagan finds this and makes the catch. First question to Girardi, the Yankees manager, was about Colon and if he's pleased with what he's seen.
He's been great. You know, the first thing they made him throw some pitches, but he seemed to really get on track the last two, and it's what we've been used to seeing from Bartolo this year.
Joe, what did you see initially in spring training that made you think Bartolo would be part of the rotation?
Just his command and his movement was exceptional, and what we wanted to see is he continued to, build up his pitch count. Could he keep his velocity? Could he keep his location? And he was able to do that, and we've been thrilled with what we've got so far.
I saw Phil Hughes, your injured right-hander, but getting better, walking around the clubhouse. He's itching to go.
Yeah.
What's the plan for him?
Well, we got to make a decision in the next day or two what we're going to do with him, and we're kind of waiting to see what happens with Bartolo here and how he comes out of his start, and then we'll have to make a decision.
How crazy is this game that you now have too much starting pitching?
Yeah, I mean, we've been through it where we've been, trying some starting pitches, and we went and got Brian Gordon, and he did a good job for us. Guys have just really stepped up and done a good job, but it's a nice problem to have.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
Joe Girardi, who is in his fourth year as manager of the Yankees, signed through 2013 as his cleanup hitter Rodriguez. G has come right after him. In each at bat, watches one go up and away, ball one. On deck, Cano. Here is a 1-2. Off the end of the bat. The full story with regard to Bartolo Colon is that he had a procedure done during the offseason that Major League Baseball has been looking into since a report surfaced about a Dr. Joseph Purita. Here is a 1-2 and a foul backing out of play. Purita runs an orthopedic clinic. It's a regenerative medicine clinic in Boca Raton. He's a surgeon, and he used a procedure where Purita used fat and bone marrow stem cells from Colon and injected those back into Colon's elbow and shoulder to repair ligament damage and repair a torn rotator cuff. As Rodriguez strikes out on a changeup, 2 out. So Colon, who is, as you watch the changeup for the strikeout.
4 strikeouts, 4 changeups to get them.
Colon, who's a 2-time 20-game winner, a Cy Young Award winner back in 2005. Then went through 3 teams, made just 48 appearances over the next 4 years, was out of baseball last year. Last year had elbow surgery, signed to a $900,000 deal. Has been exactly what the Yankees needed. The problem with the procedure and what got Major League Baseball's attention was Purita, who has used by his own admittance HGH in such treatments that I described, said he didn't with Colon or other athletes. Nice catch, Bay and left. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dylan G. Bottom of the 4th inning, the aforementioned Bartolo Colon back to the hill. Yankees and Mets, no score.
Because I had a good teacher, I learned about more than cars.
I like responsibility.
Doing things right.
Dad.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
jump start for your game, not your nerves. The proven push, stamina in a bottle, the original Gatorade. And thirst-quenching protein that helps restore your body while cooling you down. Prime, perform, recover. The G-Series from Gatorade.
The new Droid Incredible 2. I could use a smartphone with social apps to stay up on what my friends are doing. And it's global, so I'll know what they're doing while they're doing it, even when I travel. I'll have to act surprised when they tell me stuff. I don't have a good surprised face. Maybe I can look up videos of surprised people on my new phone for reference. Yep, I really want that phone.
Upgrade to the new Droid Incredible 2 by HTC with global capabilities for only $149.99. Now on America's largest, most reliable high-speed network. Verizon.
You got all of that one.
Well, he got all of that one, didn't he?
Aye.
You got all of that one.
Yeah, he did.
Guess I got all that one.
Prince Fielder, epic power hitter.
Saluting the armed services and our armed services on this 4th of July weekend as we come to you from New York. As Turner leads it off and flies one into right for Swisher, misread it early and can't make the play in foul ground. That's strike 2. Came in, drifted, and then had to try and recover and just couldn't get there, making his way toward the wall. Got a lot of glove on it. Ball might have hit the wall before it hit his glove. So the count 0-2 on Justin Turner.
You think about Bartolo Colon, he has not been a good pitcher, racked with injuries over the last 6 years, a decade of excellence from 95 through 2005. And that's what's so surprising about his comeback. 6 years of futility for the most part.
And another tailing fastball for a strikeout. That's number 5. How about a DirecTV game break? Here's Chris Rose.
Joe, Roy Halladay pitched in Toronto for the Blue Jays for a dozen years. He was back there against the Blue Jays for the first time and trailing 3-2 until this 2-run shot by Chase Utley is 4th. Halladay goes the distance, 64th time he's done that in his career, most among active pitchers. He also ties for the Major League lead with 11 wins, 5-3-year final. Remember to see every baseball game the most in HD. It's 1-800-DIRECTV. Joe?
Here is Beltran with a shot deep to center, and Granderson runs it down, 2 out. I mean, if you're a member of the Phillies bullpen and Roy Halladay is pitching that day, do you even bother to get dressed? Or just stay in the room and watch a movie?
Well, you're certainly rested, and that's why Charlie Manuel of the Phillies can afford to allow guys to pitch complete games who have done it so prevalently in the past, and why the Phillies really don't miss their stopper to close games in Brad Lidge.
And they've got 3 of them now on the DL.
Yeah.
Lidge has been on all year. You've got Ryan Madsen, who just went on, and Jose Contreras, who initially, when Lidge wasn't available, closed games. He's back on the disabled list as Daniel Murphy has a 1-1 count.
The guy's done a terrific job for the Phillies. Antonio Bastardo has really stepped up for Philadelphia. They are a good ball club, and as we said earlier, with Chase Utley back, they'll be better.
And now 10 complete games between Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee.
How about Cliff Lee for the month of June? Definitely the pitcher of the month. 5-0, giving up 1 run in 5 games, 1 earned run. He drove in 2 and gave up 1.
It's one of the best months of June in the history of the game.
Yeah.
3 consecutive shutouts. The 2-2 outside. And now for Lee, 32 plus consecutive scoreless innings. 32 1/3, and he will go tomorrow. How good are the Phillies? Another tailing fastball, another 91-mile-per-hour pitch, and another strikeout. Welcome back, Bartolo Colon. He struck out 6 after 4, no score.
The truth? It's big, baby. That's the truth. 23 knockouts and wins big, too. That's the truth. So when the truth heard Direct TV was offering the biggest, most popular TV package at the best price ever, let's just say the truth knows a knockout when he sees one.
That's the truth.
Now, get the best offer of the year, baby. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Only at Burger King.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. So with Michelin tires, rainy days weren't so tricky. Stop up to 29 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the Michelin tire. Michelin, a better way forward.
At Bayer, we're reinventing aspirin for pain relief with new extra-strength Bayer Advanced Aspirin. It has microparticles, enters the bloodstream faster, and rushes relief to the site of pain. It's clinically proven to relieve pain twice as fast. New Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
Klondike presents 5 Seconds to Glory. Nate versus sharing the grill.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I'm not sure.
Randy, he's losing ground.
I better go.
Graybeard's down.
Emmett, I'm on it. Just for Mangel. Penetrates tough gray in 5 easy minutes.
How about dessert?
Life's looking sweet.
I'm feeling the heat.
He's in for a treat.
Oh, yes. Keep your edge.
And welcome to Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by AT&T. AT&T, rethink possible. 5th inning now, no score. Dylan G is showing 80% of the country watching right now on Fox, while the Mets are 11-1 in his 12 starts. Swisher, who walked his first time up, has the count even 1-1. We had a chance to talk to the Mets manager, Terry Collins. And we'll play that for you after the first out here in the 5th. Good changeup. Strike 2.
That is a circle change, which means the pitcher joins his index finger and his thumb and throws the ball with his last 3 fingers. Hitters deceived on motion, and for the most part, motion alone.
The count 2-2. G has struck out 4. Allowed just 2 hits. Colon has allowed only 1. Still 2-2.
And when you see that many changeups, that's what happens. That 88-mile-an-hour fastball gets in on your hands. It wouldn't normally if you were looking for it, but that changeup is what keeps you honest. It was just actually a changeup, I beg your pardon. But you saw the index finger and the thumb joined, very deceptive pitch.
That floats up and away, full count. 2 starts ago, Dillon walked 6 in 4 innings, his first loss of the year against the A's. Only man to walk today on either side is the guy at the plate. And now he strikes out. That out pitch has been the changeup for Dillon Gee today.
All 5 strikeouts with a changeup.
And with 1 out, nobody on, here's Martin. Off the end of the bat, strike 1. So we'll give you the Terry Collins interview. It's quick and just 2 questions. One about Reyes, the other about Dillon Gee. After Martin does something here in the top of the 5th. Russell, who has hit just 172 coming into today since the start of June. The 0-1. Strike 2. It's fun to watch a guy keep hitters off balance. This isn't Nolan Ryan blowing hitters away. This is a guy who is using his mind as well as his right arm. Trying to hit spots, and he misses outside, ball 1.
And plus, Joe, he's pitching to the park, too. This is a middle of the plate park. In other words, you can use the middle of the plate, get the long fly balls for outs.
And another strikeout. That was on a fastball. Here is Terry Collins. The first question, how serious is the injury to Jose Reyes?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, he's had 2 years ago he had the real bad hamstring. This is the other one. It's not the one he injured 2 years ago. So he just thought it was getting real tight and starting to cramp up on him, so I took him out.
And you said before the game that Dillon Gee had to use everything, and he appears to be doing that today.
Tim, if he's going to have success against this lineup, he's got to continue to use all his pitches and pound the strike zone with them, and that's what he's doing so far.
Hey, Terry, thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. I think you could make the case. You might not win the argument, but you could at least make the case that Terry Collins is in consideration for manager of the year in the National League. In
Couldn't
baseball, I mean, who's doing a better job with less?
Could not agree with you more.
A team that started 5-13. They don't have Santana. Chris Young, their right-hander they picked up, went down early. He looked like he was going to be a nice addition, but he injured his shoulder. There is a swinging strike from Dillon Gee. The guy who's supposed to be the ace, Mike Pelfrey, has the highest ERA in the Mets rotation. They don't have David Wright. They don't have Ike Davis for 40-plus games, and they're a 500 club still hanging in a wild card chase. He's done a great job.
High fastball. One of the reasons I think the players that the Mets have been forced to use, the knowledge by Terry Collins of those players.
Here's another extra base hit for Nunez. Already has 1 double. And now another, and he is 6 for 6 in this series against the Mets.
He was ahead of the organization, a minor league rover, as this breaking ball goes in the middle of the plate. Second straight double by Nunez. So Terry Collins over the last 2 years has really had a lot of these younger players that the Mets have been forced to bring up. And he knows their strengths and weaknesses very, very well. And that double by Nunez at least clears the pitcher going into the 6th inning.
Brings in Bartolo Colon, who dropped down a perfect bunt for his sacrifice his first time, and now he's looking for a 2-out RBI hit. Strike 1.
You said 5-13. That included for the Mets a 7-game losing streak in the first 18 games of the season. So Terry Collins and his troops were put to the gun right away.
They were pulled out of a nosedive.
Yeah.
With all the stuff off the field with this organization, they've added a new minority owner, financial trouble with the Wilpons, and yet Terry Collins down on the field answering the questions about Beltran and Reyes and making Beltran, giving him the opportunity to play right instead of center, save wear and tear on his knees. Strike two. And Dylan G has Cologne eyed up for strikeout number 7. Yankee hitters, like any American League hitters, like to watch these pitchers try to hit. As that one tails down and away, 2-2. Swisher led off, he struck out. Martin followed, he struck out, a double by that man Nunez. And that's just a waste of time. I mean, you got the pitcher at the plate.
Right.
You got a rookie on the mound. There's no reason to play around with a runner at second base. Just got a piece. Cano is enjoying this at bat. Will Cologne. No. Struck out the side and has 7 on the day. Halfway through it, Mets coming up, no score.
You're on the same flight.
We'll be on the same thing.
Yeah,
Regardless.
when we need to work. Anything together? Do we know that?
Got it.
Thanks, Dave.
The big, brilliant, thin Samsung Infuse 4G. Only from the network of possibilities, AT&T.
Just because I'm a car guy doesn't mean I don't care about the environment.
I also care about doing things right and what I'm leaving behind for the next car guy.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Only at Burger King.
Gather round, y'all. I'll sing you a song about our MVP, the amazing team mom. She rides on Firestones and always comes through, even been known to fix a boo-boo or two. Firestone. From practice to the game and back again, her Firestone tires are a mom's best friend. One sweet way to ride, a wayer at home. Behind every great team, there's a great team mom. Firestone.
Legendary drivers need legendary tires.
Yes, I would have his babies. Conan O'Brien.
God, yes.
Friend to friend. Ew.
I slept with someone.
If you keep talking, I'm gonna get out of the car.
I think the fact that I did. Oh my God!
I met a girl, and she is a game changer. I don't know what to do.
Definitely don't be yourself.
Take off your shirt. Seriously? It's like you're photoshopped.
When I told you that I had to work late, I really went to see the new Twilight movie by myself. And it was so bad.
Crazy Stupid Love. Rated PG-13. Starts July 29th.
Fox Saturday Baseball is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Aerial coverage up above is brought to you by DirecTV. To get the best offer of the year, call 1-800-DirecTV. As we go into the bottom of the 5th. Angel Pagan is first up. Started our day talking about the 2 starting pitchers, and they have delivered. Ball 1 as Pagan showed bunt.
Only 6 base runners on the day through 5 innings for the Yankees. And for the Mets, Colon has retired 12 in a row since that infield hit by Reyes.
Off the end of the bat into left center field, and Gardner chases it down. 1 out. And we go to Chris Rose for a DirecTV game break.
Joe, we saw Bartolo Colon struggle at the dish a few minutes ago. What about his old team, Fausto Carmona, laying down the sac bunt? That's fine, but then he blows a tire near first. He had to be replaced by another pitcher, Josh Tomlin, as a pinch runner. Next hitter's Michael Brantley. His 6th of the year, a 3-run shot, 3-0 Tribe. Of course, Brantley came over in the CC Sabathia deal from Milwaukee. To see every baseball game the most in HD, it's 1-800-DirecTV, Joe.
All right, Chris, so that wasn't pretty going down to first base. It makes you think of the Yankees a few years ago with Chin-Ming Wong, who was their top starter, a 2-time 19-game winner who was injured running the bases in Houston during interleague play. And at that time, the boss, the late George Steinbrenner, was none too pleased that his pitchers had to hit in interleague play.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean,
National League.
Chin-Ming Wong, that was his career. And those crying for uniformity in interleague play have points.
You'd rather just see the DH throughout?
I think so. If you're going to have the DH, I think the DH should be uniform when interleague play occurs. Of course, that would be a decided advantage for the American League because the National League teams are not suited for designated hitters. I guess obviously that's the argument, but when you see something like that happen to a pitcher like Carmona, then that's cause for concern.
Of course, the opposite is true, and it happened this week with Adrian Gonzalez having to play the outfield so that the Red Sox could get the bat of David Ortiz into the lineup to play first. Gonzalez had played first once, and he said, I'm willing to do it, but I'm not going to hurt myself making any diving catches in the gap. I'll keep what's in front of me and catch what I should catch, and that's about it. Counts 1-2 on Bay, who has hit 4 home runs this season, hit a grand slam this week, when the Mets had 2 in 2 innings at Detroit. Ball 2. Mets had gone 299 games without a grand slam, and they had 2 in 2 innings at Detroit on Wednesday. Bay had one of them. The 2-2. Full count. To go get it with his bad hamstring. He is wise to just put it in his pocket. Second hit of the day for the Mets. You can help make baseball moments that kids will never forget. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball. Plus, you can enter to win one of 4 trips to the All-Star Game coming up on July 12th, and the keys to a new Chevrolet. Here is Lucas Duda playing first base today, and a guy who, when he gets a hold of one, can really launch a baseball.
Talking to Terry Collins about Lucas before the game, he said he used a term that I'd never heard before. He said he's a high ceiling guy, meaning he holds his bat above the head, right about the left ear. And he said you got to bring him down and calm him down and allow him to use that power. That means you don't want too much action before the pitch is on the way. But when it's in that sweet zone, 12 to 15 feet in front of home plate, that's when you want all the action.
By the way, Bay over at first, who is here to hit home runs, is 8 for 9 in the stolen base department, and might be a chance to try and swipe the bag with limited offense. As the pitch goes outside to Duda. Talked to Collins, why is Duda in the lineup? The answer was, we just don't have a lot of power. They don't have Ike Davis, their normal first baseman. They don't have David Wright. Wright is getting closer and closer to a minor league rehab assignment, but that's still maybe a week away. Whereas Ike Davis, he may be shut down for the rest of the year. Off the end of the bat into right for a base hit. And it's 2 on, 1 out.
Couple of clunkers, a 2-strike hit down the third baseline by Jason Bay, and now ball up the end of the bat by Lucas Duda. They all count. The Mets are glad of it. Think of the 3 hits the Mets had today. An infield, 2 infield hits and a clunker off the end of the bat.
It brings in Tolle, who has hit .348 since the last week of May. Struck out his first time. Dylan G, the pitcher, on deck. Two on, 1 out. Strike 1. I talked about Ike Davis. He was hurt on May 10th. Looked like a routine ankle sprain, but his ankle just hasn't improved. He has cartilage damage around a bone bruise in the ankle, and if that doesn't improve in the next couple of weeks and strengthen, he could be facing microfracture surgery, which is no small event. Here's the 0-1. Another hit. And the bases are loaded with Dylan G, the pitcher, coming up. Here's that injury on a pop-up. That's it. 4th inning of a game at Colorado, and you can see that left ankle rolled over. That's his support leg as he banged into the other guy who's been hurt, David Wright. And that is what has led to him missing over 40 games. And now Dylan G walks in with the bases loaded and 1 out. He wants pine tar or a different bat.
He went up to the batter's box. Then Chip Hale called him down. And anytime that happens with a runner on at third base and less than 2 outs, you're thinking squeeze. So maybe that's what Dylan did. He ordered his squeeze bat from the bench.
Well, you don't see it a lot with the bases loaded, but you do have a guy on the mound that can move.
That's right.
With a bad hamstring. And a ball up and into G, who is 1 for 22 with a bat.
If you do decide to bunt, I mean, you can almost use a sacrifice squeeze right here, safety squeeze, and make Bartolo Colon feel the ball.
Ball 2. And in his first start off the DL, Colon is into the 5th, and they're getting a little concerned in the Yankee dugout. Now on the phone is Larry Rothschild. 2-1. So you can see it here. G figures to get a strike.
You're going to put on anything, it's got to be right now. Colon has got to throw a strike.
And that's strike 2. Corey Wade, a right-hander, recently added, was in the minor leagues with Tampa Bay, gets loose. First real chance of the game for the Mets. They've done a lot of this all year, a lot of hits. They've got 3 straight singles, no runs. 95 from Cologne as he reached back for a little extra. Swung way around to the right in the outfield. Infield about halfway. And G is trying to battle his way on. Reyes left after the first. Jose Reyes with a strained left hamstring. So Ruben Tejada's on deck. Very economical with his pitches so far as Cologne. This has been his longest. Only one out. Rodriguez will step and throw. And the double play ends the inning and sends us scoreless into the sixth. And applauding is Cologne as he gets out of a jam. Still no score.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Wait, wait, wait!
Max.
Wait, wait, wait!
Maxwell!
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Take care of your engine, and it'll go far. One way I can take care of my engine, one-a-day Men's, a complete multivitamin for my overall health. Plus, it supports my heart health and helps maintain healthy blood pressure. Whoa. Kinda makes your heart race, huh?
Klondike presents 5 Seconds to Glory. Mark is listening to his wife.
I was over at Jim and Nancy's today. Do you remember them? We had dinner with them a couple weeks ago over at Jill's house.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Now through July 4th, get more bang for your buck at Lowe's. Stop by and choose 18-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Or choose an additional 5% off every day when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. And find spectacular savings on appliances. Now take 15% off all Energy Star appliances priced $397 and up. The savings are in the air. 4th of July weekend at Lowe's. Experience Lowe's. Let's build something together.
There are some baseball moments you just never forget.
We have a big 3-2 pitch coming here. Swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
Chevrolet is proud to be the official vehicle of Major League Baseball and equally proud to support these great baseball moments and the ones still to come.
As you see this meeting on the field before today's game, by way of background, the Mets this year launched the Amazing Calls to connect Mets players with fans that have amazing stories. Players first make contact with a phone call, and that leads up to a Saturday or Sunday home game here at Citi Field. Well, last December, Terry Collins, Jason Bay, and Ike Davis visited Cohen's Children's Clinic of New York on Long Island. Brendan Sullivan, that was Brendan, 13 years old, had brain surgery to remove a tumor less than 24 hours before their arrival, and came to life when he was told in ICU that the Mets were there. An exception was made for him to be brought to the pediatric floor to meet them, and 6 months later, Brendan is recovering, just finished the school year, and before the game, Terry Collins and Jason Bay got a chance to see Brendan Sullivan, a very courageous 13-year-old. And a nice program put together by the Mets. Count is 0-2 on Brett Gardner. And a line drive into center for out number 1 as Pagan makes the play. If you are just joining us, what have you been doing with your Saturday to this point? Here's what we've been doing. Reyes left the game early with a strained left hamstring. Eduardo Nunez has a couple of doubles, 6 for 6 in this series. And here is him straining his left hamstring. The first at bat of the day for the Mets. And for the Yankees, Colon right off the DL. No rehab start, pitched a simulated game on Monday, and he's been great today. So is Dylan G, who has the count 1-1 on Granderson. And now strike 2.
Boy, G has been a surgeon on the mound. With Colon, primarily it's been fastballs. But with Dylan, a little of this, a little of that.
Here is one launched into right. And gone. Yankees lead 1-0.
In order to hit a pitch in that location with the changeup that G has used all day, you've got to be looking for it. You've got to wait. Granderson did and hits his 22nd home run of the year. Wait. Watch where this pitch is.
/mile-per-hour changeup. Now to Shera with a base hit to center. After 1 year in that three-way trade involving the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, and the Tigers, the results were, well, the Diamondbacks got some pitching, and that certainly looked good this year. The Tigers got Austin Jackson, who had a great season last year. And Granderson was okay, not great for the Yankees. Well, Granderson now has 22 home runs. Last year, through the first 79 games, he had hit 10. He has more than doubled that this season. And he is a wonderful ambassador for the game of baseball as well.
I'll say.
Strike 1 on Rodriguez. Ken Rosenthal, they don't come much better than Curtis Granderson of the Yankees.
No, he is one of the game's leading role models, Joe. And as you said, not just an ambassador, but an international ambassador. He took a trip to New Zealand in the offseason, did clinics, countless interviews, met with sponsors. And the head of Baseball New Zealand, a guy named Ryan Flynn, told me that he thinks Granderson's visit is the reason that New Zealand was selected to be part of the 2013 World Baseball Classic.
And he has gone deep here in the 6th inning for the first run of the day. Here's the 0-2 from G. And a line drive, base hit into right. Now the Yankees bats come to life. A-Rod 2 for 3. And today's game, presented by AT&T, is sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball across the country. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And now Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, who has been in that spot for the Mets since June of '08 and survived the managerial change from Manuel to Terry Collins this season, is out to talk to Dylan G. We ask you to watch TBS tomorrow for the MLB All-Star Selection Show. Prior to the start of the Yankees-Mets game, you can check local listings for the start time on TBS. Here is Cano 0 for 2. A home run by Granderson, back-to-back singles by Teixeira and Rodriguez. Yankees have the most home runs in the big leagues. That was their 117th. hit by Granderson moments ago, and now ball one to Cano.
Third time through the order for a pitcher who does not throw real hard like Dylan G. You try to adapt before the offense does. Run into problems here in the sixth.
Hard hit, base hit. Down the right field line. Teixeira will score. Here comes A-Rod. And it's a 2-run triple, 3-0 Yankees.
Even though Cano was hitless before this at bat, he'd hit the ball hard to second base on a double play, to left field with a line drive, and this liner finds a hole between Duda and the line to plate 2. A-Rod knew it immediately and scores easily. Cano to third.
And now the infield in, 1-out runner at third. 3-0 Yankees. Strike one. There is action for the Mets in their pen. Swisher 0 for 1 with a walk. Ball one. Manny Acosta gets loose. A rough sixth for Dylan G. That's foul, strike 2, and Swisher broke his back. So Dylan G is trying to fight to stay in this game. The Mets in the bottom of this sixth inning will have the top of their lineup. Next week we will have the Braves and Phillies, Padres, Dodgers. Other regional action on Fox Saturday Baseball. The 1-2. In the air to left. That is deep enough to make it 4-0 Yankees. RBI number 44 for Nick Swisher. And this Yankee team coming in having won 6 in a row. And 16 of 20 leads behind Cologne. 4-0 in the sixth.
Yankees first in runs per game, slugging, home runs per game, walks, and on base percentage. They put it all together here in the sixth.
2 out in the inning and ball 1 to Martin. Two and 0. You get the double whammy if you're the Mets, which is a phrase that I don't know that I've ever used and probably won't again. I apologize. They leave Dylan G in to hit, which there was no decision there. I mean, he's rolling right along. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the fifth. He hits into a double play to end the threat and end the inning. And now he comes out and allows a home run, 2 singles, a triple, a sac fly. And we'll see if Collins sticks with him after the walk to Russell Martin.
Yeah, in retrospect, the best chance for Dylan G to be the winning pitcher in today's game would have been a pinch hitter against Bartolo Colon with the bases loaded and 1 out. But obviously, that's 20/20 hindsight, something that man doesn't have, even though he could have it looking back under that career of his.
What a catch by Turner. That ends the inning. This started the scoring. 2. 3 runs followed. It's 4-0 Yankees. Bottom of the 6th.
Caller. Okay.
Hey.
You haven't left yet.
No, I'm boarding now. What's up?
Would you mind doing it again?
Last time.
Oh. Sweet.
The Chevy Cruze with the My Chevrolet app. The remote control car is finally here.
Minaj is just playing with us.
You know what you are? You're a social assassin.
I guess I am in a way. If you're gonna have a dog, you have to have a bag.
Really
because
sorry
the
about
dog
that.
without the bag, it's incomplete.
LOL.
Why not just laugh? You're verbal texting.
Are you really pushing my drink back?
Encroachment.
How often you have sex?
Why would you ask me that?
You disgraced my business!
You're not the center of the universe!
So you bungled the head.
What do you know about social assassination?
I'm the one who named you a social assassin.
Dad, it's time. You'd be a really nice catch for somebody. Please?
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can start something great.
Yes!
Just for Men.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead. They'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Gotta go get a soda. Be right back.
Santa, my man.
Making a Pepsi.
Pepsi?
Yeah, Pepsi.
But Mr. Claus, I thought you had to deal with,
I'm on vacation. I want to have a little fun.
Summertime is Pepsi time. Naughty.
Nice.
We go into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mets coming to the plate now, down 4-0. Breaking ball misses, low, ball 1. Top of the order for the Mets, who have to get to work. They had 10 hits last night, 10 singles. 4 hits today, 4 singles. Strike 1. That's a catch by Turner to end the top of the 6th, and robbing in the process Eduardo Nunez of his 7th straight hit in this series. Swisher hauls in out number 1.
Yeah, that's a real optimist who can look at that inning, an inning in which the Yankees scored 4 runs, and say, well, we finally got Nunez out. He's 6 for 7 in the last 24 hours.
And here's the guy who did it on that diving catch. Turner, who's played a good third base, playing second today. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Strike 1. I don't think Joe Girardi will push Colon much past this 6th inning, if at all.
Not with him leading off or scheduled to lead off in the 7th inning.
He is rolling. He did allow the 3 hits last inning, but he struck out 6, walked nobody. Girardi used his pen all night last night, but he's got action with Corey Wade again in the pen. Colon trying to finish strong here in the 6th.
7 Yankee pitchers were used last night in a 9-inning game.
Another one for Swisher, another easy one. 2 out. Through a nationwide vote, fans have selected the 2 finalists in the Midsummer Classics bracket tournament. Hitting AL moment, Cal Ripken's 2001 Swan Song against the NL moment, Stan Musial in his game-ending home run in the '55 All-Star game. That's all for the title of the greatest moment in All-Star Game history. You can join the debate as Beltran takes a strike by going to MLB.com/moments to place your vote for either Cal or Stan. In the air to right center field. Granderson won't get there. And Beltran has a 2-out double.
A breaking ball in the middle of the plate. Carlos Beltran showing he's still got a lot left.
So that's 15 hits in this series for the Mets. And that's their first extra base hit. Now trying to string something together, 2 out. Here's Daniel Murphy. Not a huge power threat, but he's done a good job establishing himself in this lineup. And he pops it up. Gardner back to grab it.
Joe, in this ballpark, nobody's a power threat.
We go to the 7th, 4-0 Yankees. Back after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
At 21st Century Insurance, we think shopping around is smart. Take these 2 cars. One is covered by them, the other by 21st. So they're both protected from those pesky shopping carts. Same coverage means same repairs. But smart shoppers who switch to 21st save $492 a year. Call 888-620-2121. 21st Century Insurance. Same great coverage for less.
This is it! Hyundai Stars, Stripes, and Savings Event. 4 days only. Shop 4 models that get 40 miles per gallon. Payments as low as $169 a month. Get 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back. Drive home the #1 selling car in all of the Tampa Bay area during the #1 weekend to buy. Get to your Suncoast Hyundai dealers. Hurry, it all ends 4th of July, Monday night.
It's Nissan's 4th of July sales event. Celebrate with $500 holiday bonus cash on our most popular models. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Test drive at your local Nissan dealer today. Hurry, event ends July 5th.
Honey, why aren't you playing with your friends?
I am playing with my friends.
Hey, Mr. D. Joseph? Sarah?
Honey, let me get in
It's
here.
Mommy's turn now. Let's go.
The average home has over 4 internet-connected devices.
We were gonna storm the castle.
I love your hair.
Thanks, I went to your guy.
It's perfect.
I thought we were storming the castle.
That's why you need the internet rated #1 for supporting multiple users and devices simultaneously. Verizon Fios, a network ahead.
On weekend mornings, we'll help you make it a good day.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by AT&T. AT&T, rethink possible. And Jorge Posada may rethink this whole DH thing. What a turnaround he has had. And what a month of June. Pinch hitting for Cologne. And he pops up. In to get it is Bay. 1 out. Posada, who pulled himself out of that May 14th game against the Red Sox, hitting 165 at the time, was 9th in the order. There's Girardi talking to Cologne, telling him that's enough for the day. Well, Jorge Posada hit .382 in June. They're the numbers for Cologne. 3 home runs for Jorge. And on the first pitch, he pops out to left. Brings in Gardner, who is 0 for 3. And Nick Swisher works over one of his new bats. He broke one in his last at bat. So out with the old, in with the new.
Got to keep your business partner happy.
Here is a 1-1 from Dylan G, who is working in the 7th. You know, I think it'd be easy for Terry Collins to go to the bullpen, but you have a rookie on the mound, a 25-year-old right-hander. He had that rough 6th inning. Let him come back and see if he can get through the 7th and give him that opportunity. A little more experience, and after getting the first out, he's 2-2 on Gardner.
Yeah, you have to treat your future with respect, particularly if he's a starting pitcher.
They're trying to win. They're also trying to develop young players.
Right.
And the 2-2. Chop foul. Acosta again, in case there's any trouble here in the 7th. Corey Wade will take over in the bottom of the inning. Talking to Mike Harkey, the bullpen coach for the Yankees. That is out of play. .100 pitches on the day for Dylan G. And pitch number 101 turns into out number 2 in the 7th. Dylan G was recently at the MLB Fan Cave. Players have visited all season long. You were there, Tim.
I was. So was Ken Rosenthal. I was there with Ken, in fact.
And you can check in at MLBFancave.com. Looks nice if you're going to be stuck somewhere right in Manhattan.
Absolutely.
Watch all the games and the people who are out on the loose.
There are 2 guys there in the fan cave watching every single game this year. Obviously 2 baseball fans.
How many times do you think they've hit the mute button for announcers across this great land of ours and into Canada? We are told that those guys are going to be allowed to leave the fan cave to go to the All-Star game on July 12th.
Good. Be good for them.
It's like they're out on parole.
Little fresh air. Oh, man.
Counts 2-2. That'll be here on Fox. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on the 12th. 2-out walk.
That'll be their only time this year to see one game in one day.
And the rest of the country's as well.
Right.
That is the 3rd walk handed out by G. Terry Collins is going to let Dylan try and get a tough guy at the plate. Ball 1. Mark Teixeira has hit 25 home runs, 2nd highest total in baseball. 25 of his 73 hits have left the park. It's the highest percentage in baseball. Lines one into center for Pagan. Good job by G to get through the top of the 7th. Rebounding after that rough 6th. Time to stretch. 4-0 Yankees.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Only at Burger King.
At Bayer, we're reinventing aspirin for pain relief with new extra strength Bayer Advanced Aspirin. It has microparticles, enters the bloodstream faster, and rushes relief to the site of pain. It's clinically proven to relieve pain twice as fast. New Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. So with Michelin tires, rainy days weren't so tricky. Stop up to 29 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the Michelin tire. Michelin, a better way forward.
This is the network, a network of possibilities. In here, the planned combination of AT&T and T-Mobile would deliver our next-generation mobile broadband experience to 55 million more Americans, many in small towns and rural communities, giving them a new choice. We'll deliver better service with thousands of new cell sites for greater access to all the things you want whenever you want them. It's the AT&T network, and what's possible in here is almost impossible to say.
Hi, Ivan. I'm Kristen. Welcome. We're going to head on into the interview. All right, go ahead right in the front.
What's your favorite piece of technology in the car besides the engine?
It would have to be the sync. I use it every day, all the time.
What do you think Ford is doing right?
Striking a balance. You need to have the balance of fuel efficiency with today's economy, and you absolutely need that horsepower.
Do you think your car looks good in here?
I think it looks good, but I think it would look better if I was in it.
The seventh inning here in New York with the Mets coming to the plate. Down 4-0, and Corey Wade takes over. His seventh game, he has yet to allow an earned run. And good numbers at AAA for Tampa Bay. 2-1 in 21 appearances, 1.23. A guy who got a lot of work for Joe Torre in his first try at it with the Dodgers. Injured, missed last year, and he's got his good stuff back. And he retires the leadoff man, Pagan, one away in the bottom of the seventh. That'll bring in Jason Bay. Jason Bay came to the Mets last year. Averaged 29 home runs a year. Until last season, as Boone Logan, who's been busy lately, gets loose. He has 4 home runs, Jason Bay, this season. Last year was a disappointing first season for Jason in a Mets uniform, as he flies one into center when he hit only 6 in 95 games. Today's game, presented by AT&T, is sponsored by Michelin, a better way forward, and by Burger King. Get the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04 on July 2, 3, and 4. So you can take advantage of that opportunity right now as Lucas Duda steps in. You wonder, Tim, as they go forward here with the Mets organization, Bay's got 10 home runs total in a year and a half, basically, although he was injured last year, had the concussion issue. Wright struggled that first year, hitting home runs a little better year 2, but still not what he was when the Mets played at Shea. If other free agent power-hitting players might shy away from signing here with the Mets.
That's why they've got to move the fences in. In fact, there is a rumor that the Mets are going to move the fences in next year. We do not know whether that's true or not, but from a prudence standpoint, I think they've got to do it. You're not going to lure. You've got to make the park fair, and right now it's not fair.
Here's a 1-2. Ripped. Fair down into the right field corner, and a ground rule double as it hops out of play. Lucas Duda getting the start today is 2 for 3.
It can also mess up your pitching and your young pitching too. I mean, pitchers from the time that they sign, as this ball hits right on the line for Duda and hops into the stands. But from the moment that a young pitcher signs, they're told, forget about putting the ball in the air. If a hitter hits the ball in the air, that's trouble. Well, in this ballpark, it's just the opposite. You want him to put the ball in the air because it's so hard to hit the home run.
Fernando Martinez on deck. With the pitcher spot, Dylan G next as Tolley takes ball 2-0.
So if you're a low ball pitcher, what do you tell a young pitcher? Become a high ball pitcher? Well, of course not. But this park can just mess up your thinking from that standpoint as Luis Ayala is warming for the Yankees.
That's on the corner from Wade. It's 2-1. This park does suit the game of Jose Reyes.
Absolutely.
Where he can use his legs, he can shoot the gap. A lot of room in the outfield. And he leads the world with 15 triples already. Should end the inning. Cano on a knee. Let's go to the 8th. Yankees having fun again here today. They've won 6 straight. And they lead 4-0 against their crosstown rival.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. So with Michelin tires, rainy days weren't so tricky. Stop up to 29 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the Michelin tire. Michelin, a better way forward.
Blimey, why does everything from America have to be so big?
Come on, baby.
すげえアメリカンブリトー。
バケモン。
Mais c'est presque aussi gros que leur SUV.
What are you supposed to do with it? Slice it and maybe share it amongst the team.
Taco Bell's new Double XL grilled stuffed burrito. We start with steak, then add 3 cheeses, then add seasoned rice and beans, then add fiesta salsa and top it off with even more of your favorites. It's not just XL, it's Double XL. Think outside the bun.
Select 55 from Budweiser. The superior taste makes it Select. The 55 calories make it the lightest beer in the world.
I like your messy hair. I like the clothes you wear. I like the way you sing. And when you dance with me, you always make.
We believe you're at your best when you can relax and be yourself. And at thousands of newly refreshed Holiday Inn hotels, you always can. Holiday Inn. Stay you. And now stay rewarded with vacation pay. Stay 2 weekend nights and get a $75 prepaid card.
Kathy, your voice sounds familiar. Have you ever won anything before?
No.
All right. Well, here's your question. What is the deepest lake in the U.S.?
Oh, boy, way to give me the hardest. Geography was never my Crater Lake.
You have just won an oversized chess set.
I have an oversized chess set, sorry.
Then how about an inflatable bouncy castle?
Yeah, I have that too.
I can give you an entire day with 70s rocker Edgar Winter.
You know what? Just give me another bouncy castle.
Only AT&T lets your iPhone talk and surf at the same time. It's the network of possibilities.
If you like Fox Sports on Facebook, you could win sports gear. Enter today at facebook.com/Fox Sports, where you will find exclusive news, video, and games. Log on to facebook.com/Fox Sports. And if you like us, meaning Fox Sports in general, not Tim and me, never asked that of you.
No.
You can win Fox Sports gear. Let us know what it looks like. We don't get much of it. First pitch is down and away to Alex Rodriguez from Manny Acosta, the new right-hander. And now 1-2, the third baseman over to first for the out as Daniel Murphy makes the play.
Manny Acosta healthy 2 days after making a sensational play in the bottom of the 8th inning on a ball that was a swinging bunt to the right side of the infield between the first baseman and him. and the ball actually got by him. He went, recovered the ball, and pirouetted and made a strong throw to Daniel Murphy at first base, and in the process had to be taken out of the game. Contusion on his left knee. He appears to be all right.
And with one out, nobody on, here is Cano, who had a 2-run triple and a run scored his last time up, takes a strike. So the Yankees get Bartolo Colon back. 6 innings, no runs, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks. That is, I think, more than they could have expected with him coming back without a rehab start. And the good starting pitching continues on this roll for Joe Girardi. That's strike 2.
Bartolo Colon's rehab start was today.
He will next get the ball against Tampa Bay in the run-up to the All-Star game after the Yankees play 3 in Cleveland. Here is an 0-2. Ball 1. You think about the wish list during Christmas for the Yankees. They were hoping Andy Pettitte would come back. They're pretty much banking, I think, on signing Cliff Lee until he signed with the Phillies for $120 million. They've signed Freddie Garcia. They signed Bartolo Colon. Phil Hughes, an all-star last year, 18-game winner, on the DL since mid-April. They've added guys like Brian Gordon, and yet here they are with a, if they hang on, 3-game lead over Boston in the division, with the Red Sox playing later. And even with all that talk, Tim, the Yankees are 1-8 against the Red Sox this season, so they have to prove that they can beat their big rival. The 2-2 in the air to left for Jason Bay. 2 out.
Yankees have lost 26% of their games to Boston. 1 out of every 4 losses to the Red Sox.
And against the rest of baseball, and they have the best interleague play record now, trying to go to 13-4. The Yankees have dominated. Of late, Nick Swisher's been a big part of that, as his bat has come around. 2 out, nobody on, here in the 8th.
Funny how things work out. The inability or unwillingness or whatever to sign Cliff Lee. And then the Yankees prompted to give $900,000 to Bartolo Colon, which is less than 0.5% of their payroll. $900,000 for a $200 million payroll.
And he is about to go to 6-3 unless the Mets rally.
Yeah. Amazing.
As Alex Rodriguez said early, it's the best bargain in baseball. Got a front of the end rotation guy for under $1 million. That's low. 2-1. What do you think this team adds, Kenny Rosenthal, going forward with their pitching staff?
Joe, not sure they can pull it off, but the one thing they would love to add is left-handed pitching, either in the rotation or the bullpen. The one lefty starter who might be available, probably is available, Wandy Rodriguez, very good pitcher in the National League, might not be so good in the AL East.
It is a 1-2-3 8th inning for Manny Acosta. Mets coming up. We'll talk about Jeter when we come back. Yankees lead 4-0.
You sprayed them. Thought they were dead. Shoulda used Roundup, America's #1 weed killer. It kills weeds to the root, so they don't come back. Guaranteed. Weeds won't play dead. They'll stay dead. Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Now we're hitting the road with the Pro Glide Challenge. Yo, my friend, come on down here. What do you think about that Pro Glide?
Yeah, this is great. Feels good on my sensitive skin. I don't feel like I'm shaving.
Fusion Pro Glide is engineered with Gillette's thinnest blades ever.
It feels like it's doing the work for me.
So it glides for less tug and pull. It was smooth.
This was fantastic.
I'm having way too much fun with this razor.
Turn shaving into gliding with Fusion Pro Glide.
I'm a believer.
He is a believer! Yeah! Gillette Fusion Pro Glide.
You've reached the age where you don't back down from a challenge. This is the age of knowing how to make things happen. So why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. See if America's most prescribed ED treatment is right for you.
Happy 4th of July weekend from all of us at Fox Sports, and it's a new record at this ballpark, topping last night's crowd, 42,042. So they have been buzzing about this game since they got into the stadium. A lot of life in here. The Yankees bats came to life in the top of the 6th. They lead 4-0, and Corey Wade, who pitched a scoreless 7th, is out there for the 8th. Fernando Martinez first up. Martinez pinch hitting for Manny Acosta, who worked a perfect top of the inning. Kenny Rosenthal was talking about the Yankees adding a left-handed pitcher rotation or bullpen as Martinez chops one to Cano. Main reason why all that left-handed thump that the Red Sox have in their lineup. Time for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. Here's the injury against the Indians for Cologne on June 11th. On the DL, one simulated game. Off the DL today, and he was great. 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, no runs, 5 hits, no walks. In line for the win. And just as Bartolo gives the Yankees the edge, you too can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. 1 out, nobody on. Tejada fouls it back, strike 1. Ken Rosenthal is at the ready down there and brought up the name Derek Jeter as we play in the bottom of the 8th. Jeter is about 39 minutes away from a rehab start at Trenton for the Yankees. And Ken, it's a matter of time. It seems like Monday is the day that Jeter comes back to the Yankees when they're in Cleveland. And then the quest for 3,000 hits resumes as this one is flied into left for Gardner. 2 out. The other question is, where will he hit in the lineup for Joe Girardi?
Well, Joe, he's going to lead off at least to start, and at least probably as he gets through 3,000. But we've seen terrific production from Gardner and from Swisher in the leadoff spot since he has been out. And the Yankees are on the verge here of going to 14-3 without Jeter. So the real question is there a point where Derek Jeter will accept perhaps dropping out of that leadoff spot? It's a difficult thing for an aging player to do, except that he is not the player he once was. That confidence that Jeter has, that's one of the reasons he was such a great player in the first place.
First pitch is a ball to Justin Turner.
And such a big game player, as he's proven time and time again in the postseason.
That's on the corner, 1-1. And now with 2 out, nobody on. A base hit into left center field. Gardner cuts it off. But either way, it is a double. Good effort by Brett Gardner in left center.
Good play by a good outfielder. You know, Joe, there in last Sunday's New York Times Magazine, there was a terrific article by Michael Sokolov, and in it he quoted a writer who happens to be a woman and a big baseball fan, Susan Jacoby, who's got a new book out about that, the myth and marketing of the new old age.
Here's a high fly ball into right, should end the inning.
We'll have to continue it, won't you?
We will continue it in the ninth, and as we head there, the Yankees lead it 4-0.
The new Droid Incredible 2. I could use a smartphone with social apps to stay up on what my friends are doing. And it's global, so I'll know what they're doing while they're doing it, even when I travel. I'll have to act surprised when they tell me stuff. I don't have a good surprised face. Maybe I can look up videos of surprised people on my new phone for reference. Yep, I really want that phone.
Upgrade to the new Droid Incredible 2 by HTC with global capabilities for only $149.99. Now on America's largest, most reliable high-speed network, Verizon.
If you think heroes are only in movies, consider this. Over 70% of firefighters are local volunteers. These are our neighbors putting their lives on the line. And when they rely on a battery, there are firefighters everywhere who trust Duracell. And now you can join with Duracell to help. Just buy specially marked packs, and Duracell will make a battery donation to local volunteers. These days, don't we all need someone to trust? Duracell, trusted everywhere.
On July 8th, I own you, you little runt. Thank you. Prepare for the movie.
Our lives would be easier if our bosses weren't alive.
Your boss doesn't want you to see.
Does anyone here kill people for money? What you just say? I didn't mean to offend you. My heart was in the right place.
About 5 seconds, your heart gonna be in the wrong place.
I'm gonna be your murder consultant.
It'd be awful if it was traceable back to us.
I don't even know your names.
This is Dale.
Don't say my name.
Horrible Bosses, rated R, starts July 8th.
This weekend only, Burger King is celebrating the 4th with the original chicken sandwich for just $1.04. Hurry in for a taste of a true American original. The original chicken sandwich, just $1.04, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, only at Burger King.
Because I had a good teacher, I learned about more than cars.
I like responsibility.
Doing things right.
Dad.
Introducing Valvoline Next Gen. Backed by the Valvoline Engine Guarantee Program, it's 50% recycled oil, 100% Valvoline protection.
Summer's biggest night begins with a world premiere preview of Simon Cowell's The X Factor. Then, baseball's greatest stars take center stage. The All-Star Game, July 12th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox.
Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Viagra and by Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turns shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. Aerial coverage today brought to you by DirecTV. To get the best offer of the year, call 1-800-DirecTV.
That article we were talking about in the New York Times last Sunday by Michael Sokolov was talking about Derek Jeter and the unusual environment around him as far as his aging is concerned. He turned 37 years old last Sunday, and 2 comments by Susan Jacoby in that article particularly hit home to me. One was that fans don't like to watch aging athletes in these relatively young guys. It makes us uncomfortable. We think if it happens to them, what in the heck is going to happen to us? And a second quote that will stay with you was from Susan Jacoby. The reason the response to athletes getting older is so powerful is that the decline that's occurring is so public. Most people are allowed to age in private, but not professional athletes.
Here's a pitch down and away, and the count's 3-0 on Russell Martin with Nunez, the replacement for Jeter. On deck is Sergio Mitre, who was just reacquired by the Yankees from the Brewers during the week, gets loose. There's a strike from the new left-hander Tim Burdack. Well, people watched last year after Jeter had that big year in '09. Hit .334 18 home runs, 66 RBIs. Last year, 270. 10 homers, 67 RBIs. He doesn't have the range he once did defensively, but I tell you, if there's one guy you want the ball hit to in Game 7 in the 9th inning of a World Series, he'd be my pick.
Or a guy up at bat.
However, it's another year where he's hitting 260 now. Not a lot of extra base hits. Nunez has given them a little bit of a spark, a little youth. He's 24. And it just points out that if it can happen to Derek Jeter, who's got 5 rings and who's been the Yankee captain and who's been a great player since seemingly the moment he stepped on the big stage under the bright lights. Well, if it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody.
Yep. And it's a very difficult job for a manager to tell an aging star that he's an aging star.
Here is the young shortstop Nunez, who takes a strike.
I remember the meeting between Brooks Robinson and Earl Weaver. After 23 years with the Orioles, Earl Weaver was asked by the writers what he and Brooks talked about when he told him he was going to play a young third baseman named Bobby Grich. And Earl said, he made it easy on me. He cooperated.
And during the week, Joe Torre was quoted as saying he believes Derek Jeter, if that time comes to pass, as Nunez shoots one into left center and right on cue goes deep to make it 5-0 Yankees. Home run number 3. That Derek Jeter would do what his manager would ask of him. And Nunez with a smile on that 24-year-old face as he goes deep, and what a series he's had. 4 hits last night, 2 doubles and a home run here today. And they're giving him the silent treatment in the dugout. And the Yankees are all smiles and having fun. Strike 1 on the inside corner to Andrew Jones.
Eduardo probably thinking you wouldn't have given Derek Jeter the silent treatment. His 3rd extra base hit of the afternoon, his 7th hit in 8 trips in the last 24 hours.
And so again, we talked about it with Joe Girardi before the game. You know how this game is. I mean, streaks follow streaks. Teams get hot and cold. This Yankee team is the hottest team in the game. They're on their way to their 7th straight win. 17 wins in 21 games. They'll be 3 up in the division, with Boston playing later. And yet when Jeter comes back, I mean, they'd be hard-pressed to continue a run like they're on right now. That's not going to continue forever. They're not going to win the rest of the year, and they're not going to win at that kind of a rate. But this is a Yankee team that is on the verge of going 14-3 without their captain in the lineup. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Gardner. Brett is hitless on the day. I mean, you saw some of what you were talking about with regard to Jeter, with the frustration and I think on some level a little bit of embarrassment, even though that's a strong word, with Posada when we were there in May.
Yeah, right.
When he found himself 9th in the lineup, hitting 165 as the DH, and he took himself out of the lineup.
I think that's an interesting parallel. You know, just thinking about it, I don't remember the Yankees having that big a problem retiring their superstars, their mini superstars of years past. Be it Mantle, just off the top of my head, Mantle, Berra. DiMaggio was 35 when he retired. I don't see the same. Of course, it was a different world then, too. It was 50 years ago or so.
Well, I mean, and Jeter is in year 1 of a 3-year, $51 million deal.
Yeah, right.
And there's strike 3 to get Gardner to send this game into the bottom of the 9th. Eduardo Nunez a home run. The silent treatment. The hugs. It's 5-0 Yankees after 8.5.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the stars up. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
As long as there are babies, there'll be Chevys to bring them home.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. So with Michelin tires, rainy days weren't so tricky. Stop up to 29 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the Michelin tire. Michelin, a better way forward.
This is the network, a network of possibilities. In here, the planned combination of AT&T and T-Mobile would deliver our next-generation mobile broadband experience to 55 million more Americans, many in small towns and rural communities, giving them a new choice. We'll deliver better service with thousands of new cell sites for greater access to all the things you want whenever you want them. It's the AT&T network, and what's possible in here is almost impossible to say.
It's me. I'm coming home.
When?
I know I'm not the only one. So I'm going.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Today's game presented by AT&T is sponsored by Viagra and by Gillette Fusion Pro Glide, turns shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers. Bottom of the 9th inning in this beautiful park in Queens, and Chris Dickerson takes over and right for Nick Swisher, and on the mound is Sergio Mitre. There are his numbers with the Brewers. Traded to Milwaukee in March. Was designated for assignment, and Brian Cashman, certainly familiar with Mitre, wanted to add to his bullpen and reacquired it. That's a ball, 1-1 on Murphy. Daniel Murphy is 0 for 3. Nothing Yankees. That's in the air to left center field. Will not be caught, and one hop up against the wall. Good start to this 9th inning as Murphy has a double. And for the Mets now, 4 extra base hits in this game.
That'll get Mariano Rivera up as Daniel Murphy gets his first hit. By the way, the ever-vigilant Steve Horn informing me that it was not Bobby Grich that took Brooks Robinson's place at third base, but Doug DeCinces. Bobby Grich was the second baseman in those days with the Orioles.
That's Rivera getting his engine started as Mitre bounces one in, and over to third goes Murphy. That'll be a wild pitch. Mitre in 39 games over a couple of years with the Yankees, 3-6. And it was really the pitching of Colon and Freddie Garcia in spring training that allowed Cashman to make the move, and now the two guys involved in that deal are out there on the field for the Yankees. Dickerson came to New York. Mitre went to Milwaukee, and now he's back. And he is working his way into trouble and maybe right out of this game with a 3-0 count on Pagan.
Yeah, obviously there is a very short leash on Sergio Mitre right now.
And that'll put runners at the corners. Mitre has allowed a double, a wild pitch, now a walk.
Speaking of walks, Russell Martin will walk out to the mound and spend as much time as he can with Mitre to give Rivera a chance to warm up.
And these Met fans are salivating for something from Jason Bay. 4 home runs on the year. He could make it a 2-run game with 1 swing. Strike 1. While we have a chance, the producer of today's game, Pete Macheska, the director, Bill Webb, associate directors Aaron Stoikov, and the broadcast associates Eric Mandia, Chase Weber. Jonathan Evans is the technical director. Pre-game show produced by Don Bowie. Here's the 0-1 to Bay. Editorial consultant Steve Horn, the statisticians Wayne Fiddleman and Keith Costas.
All right.
I got a Costas closing in on me.
All right.
And happy 63rd birthday to our technical manager, Sid Drexler. Here comes a 1-1. There goes Pagan on strike 2. And the uncontested taking of second. And they're giving Pagan his 14th steal of the year. Here's the 1-2. Rodriguez will go to first, up by 5. 1 out, in to score is Murphy. And it's 5-1 and an RBI ground out, but Mitre and the Yankees got exactly what they wanted. They will take the out, give up the run. Up now by 4.
That's why it was a good play by Angel Pagan to go to third base. Normally he wouldn't do that. But in the 9th inning, when you're trailing by more than 1 run, make the defense do something unusual. And A-Rod didn't take the bait. He went to first base.
Brings in Duda. Breaks his back, grounds to Cano. It is a 5-2 game as Pagan scores, but 2 out in the inning. So 2 RBI groundouts. Now the bases are empty. Tolley is walking in, and the Yankees would love to get through this game without having to bring Rivera in out of the bullpen.
I'm just looking down the Mets dugout, and it's one of those situations in a game where the Yankees did exactly what they wanted. They got an out, and somebody is going to shake Lucas Duda's hand in the dugout. He's already had 3 handshakes. There's 4.
And strike 1 to Tolley.
It's one of those inapt handshakes. Why are you shaking his hand? He did what the Yankees wanted him to do.
2 out in the inning. Nobody on. 2 runs home in the 0-1. Just off the outside corner. There's a strike, and the Yankees are 1 strike away from their 7th straight win and a 3-game lead in the AL East, with Boston playing tonight at Houston. Vitre knocks it down and ends the day. Yankees win another 7 straight. A final of 5-2 as they've taken the first 2 from the Mets. And Joe Girardi has his Yankees on a roll. They got a good start. They had a big 6th. They hit 2 more home runs today. Granderson and then Nunez. And the Yankees, who have a game tomorrow behind Freddie Garcia against the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey, will go for the sweep. And there's a look at the AL East.
Another sensational start by Bartolo Colon. What made this particularly pleasing to Joe Girardi, I'm sure, is he came off the disabled list and looked like he did before he went on the disabled list.
Time now for the Valvoline Next Gen Right play of the game. And it was the first run of the game. Off the bat of the slugging center fielder Curtis Granderson. Home run number 22. 3 more runs would follow in the inning and a 5-2 win. Let's go down to Chris Rose.
Pitch and shutout ball, and then all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. And that's what this offense does best.
It's the crazy thing about baseball. We just keep grinding out at bats and just keep trying to hope we get other opportunities throughout the game and continue to put pressure on. And that's what we were able to do in that 6th inning.
How strange is it to crush a home run in a visiting ballpark and hear like 30,000 cheers?
Absolutely amazing. The New York fans across the board, both Mets and Yankee fans, diehard, passionate, come out in groves, look forward to this series all season long, both at our place and here. This is the first time I got a chance to play it in here, so it's been everything it's been cracked up to be.
You guys have won 7 straight, 14 of 17. It's almost like you guys are on cruise control. What has been the difference over the last few weeks?
The big thing is that we're just kind of taking it day by day. We're really not worried too much about what's happening, and we're not worried too far about what's happening in the future. Focus on today. We got today taken care of. When we come here tomorrow, we're only going to focus about tomorrow, and that's it.
How about Bartolo Colon? 6 shutout innings. The guy doesn't even have a rehab start. Looked like he didn't even miss a beat, huh?
Absolutely amazing. To get put on the 15-day DL, come back and throw like he hadn't skipped a beat. The ball was moving all over the place. The velocity was great. The pitch count was down like he's been doing all season long. Maybe he just needed a little bit of rest. That's all it was.
Maybe he needs a little BP. What'd you think of his? He was swinging for the fence. He's got to give him some credit.
He was trying his best to. You know, he threw some tough pitches up there, a couple balls away. He fought with 2 strikes, and the big thing, he got the bunt down early on.
All right, Curtis, we'll see you in Arizona for the All-Star game. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
On over to Kenny Rosenthal with another Yankees hitting star. Kenny?
Thanks, Chris. Here with Eduardo Nunez. Eduardo, first the home run. You get back to the dugout, and there's nobody there to congratulate you. Did you know what was going on?
No, I think, oh my God, what happened here in my dugout? Watching my teammate, and I see nobody see me, nobody like, it's nothing going on. I'm like, wow. And when they came back, oh, how you doing? Yeah, congratulations.
Now, you're 7 for 8 in this series, and nearly 8 for 8. Second baseman Justin Turner made a great play. What has happened for these last 2 games to come out like this for you?
You know, the morning ball, swing the good pitch. I see the ball better. I feel better right now. You know, when you play more, you feel more comfortable in the place. But right now, I feel great.
Everybody knows Derek is coming back probably Monday. You probably won't be playing every day then. How much does that change for you?
No, nothing. You know, I don't think about that. Just we come back from my regular job as a utility guy, and nothing. I'm waiting for my day. My day coming one time.
Eduardo, thank you very much. Joe, back to you. Eduardo, thank you.
Kenny, thank you very much, and thanks to Eduardo Nunez. How about his day? How about his time here at Citi Field? Today he had a pair of doubles, then was robbed of an extra base hit on a diving play by Turner, then went deep. And a smile on the face of the young man who just turned 24 recently, then back to the dugout. And nobody paid any attention to him until his teammates broke down and let him have it.
That was a good one. Good decoy.
That's great. And a real likable guy, as you can tell, in a visit with Kenny, as is Curtis Granderson, who hit his 22nd here today. Look at this streak. for the Yankees, 7 straight, their longest of the year. They've allowed a total of 7 runs in the last 5 games, a season high 19 games over 500, and they have Derek Jeter expected to come back if all goes well this weekend on Monday in Cleveland. We'll wrap things up from New York after this, as the Yankees win another 7 straight, 5-2 over the Mets. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow. Back after this from your local Fox station.
And I went on to win it, and I saved a few match points against Arthur Ashe. And we were a little bit different on the court, the way we behaved.
Was he as classy a guy? I never had a chance to meet him. I mean, was he a special man that you hear about?
Yeah, I mean, he was the greatest ambassador our sport probably ever had,
really,
without a doubt. The way he handled himself. That's why we have our stadium at the National Tennis Center, the Arthur Ashe Stadium, because even though there was some people like Althea Gibson, for example, wasn't given the credit. Billie Jean King probably did more for, certainly more for women's sports and particularly women's tennis than any person in the history of the world, to be honest. Arthur, after what he went through and the bad luck that was thrown his way, sort of represented something far beyond that. So he was an incredible guy to be around.
Now that same year, after you beat Arthur in the Masters, you end up winning the U.S. Open. Again, you're home. What did that mean to you?
Well, it was an incredible feeling. The only bad part was that Vitas Gerulaitis, who I played in the finals, we were both from Queens. He was nice enough to take me a little bit under his wing. I was 4 years younger than him. He would be the one that would get me into Studio 54.
Was that fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it as Sodom and Gomorrah as they made it out to be?
I didn't see that part as much as I would have liked. You have to be on the really A list to do that.
Right.
But the bad part was that people sort of were booing us in that match. They wanted to see Bora Connors, who were the top two players at the time. So they were very disappointed that we played. I felt really sort of upset in a way. That was hollow in a way, especially because Vitas passed away at such a young age. It felt like, because I did end up winning 4 U.S. Opens and he didn't win any, that if I had to give back one of them, it would certainly been that one.
Now, the next year at Wimbledon, 1980, you lose to Bjorn Borg in that epic match. Do you still remember it fondly, although you lost the match? It's considered one of the greatest tennis matches ever played.
I remember it well. I recently watched the tiebreaker with Bjorn for the from start to finish for the first time. It did feel like it was one of the only matches I ever played where I felt like I was sort of part of history while I was playing it. And that's unusual. I mean, you don't know at the time quite often. In that match, there was an energy and a feeling, and the way the match ebbed and flowed and went back and forth, that there really felt like something magical was happening. And when I was able to get back and win this epic tiebreaker that I won, most people don't even know I lost.
Right.
You know, I try to tell them, yeah, I actually won that match. But I was amazed that Bjorn had found another gear, because he had won it 4 times in a row. So I thought, this guy's going to give in a little bit. And I was hungrier. I mean, I'd never won it. So I couldn't believe that all of a sudden he found this other gear and more desire and dug deeper in his soul. So that taught me something.
Now, a couple of years previous, when you burst upon the scene at Wimbledon, you weren't that well received. Did that hurt you? I mean, the British press called you super brat and all that stuff.
Actually, I quite enjoyed it the first year. I thought they just didn't get me or get it. If I got upset, people would start booing and stuff. I said, why are they booing? I'm just upset at myself. It's nothing to do with you. Relax. And I noticed I took my racket once, the old wood racket, because I took it under my leg. I grabbed it and I tried to snap it in two. And I got this sort of hissing from the audience. And I thought, God, that's funny. And, you know, so I said, then I kicked it over to just see what they do. I said, oh, now I'm going to kick it over there, see what they do. And I was.
So you're playing with their head.
I didn't understand them, and they didn't understand me. So there was not a meeting in the mind. So I sort of dug in my heels. When it first happened, I thought it was funny.
Right.
When I came back, and then people in the States were saying to me, hey, you're the brat guy. You're the guy that got in trouble. All of a sudden, for the first time ever, some people knew who I was, and they seemed like they knew me for the wrong reason, and that sort of bothered me. And then I was really, for the next 6-7 years, for the most part, it was extremely difficult there. That was, the press was really having a field day.
Now they love you, though, there.
Well, I'm not sure if they love me, but I think that they appreciate me a little bit more. And also, let's face it, I'm not out in the court yelling at someone or the way they saw it before. I'm sort of doing a little bit of commentary, which is, that's why I've been thankful that I've done the commentary, because it's allowed me to show a side of myself that I didn't show too well while I was playing.
Now, in mentioning the Borg epic match, you end up getting your revenge against him. You beat him at the U.S. Open that fall. And then you're both offered $1 million to play Sun City in South Africa, and you turned it down. Was it a tough thing for you to turn down, or were people telling you to take it?
Well, fortunately, the right people weren't telling me to take it. My father being one of them, he managed me. It just didn't feel right. You know, if in those days we were getting appearance money of $10,000, we thought was great, or 25 was amazing.
Right, so this is $1 million.
So this was like the equivalent of like 10 million, maybe now. It just felt like, even though Arthur Ashe had gone to South Africa, he, I think at that point, realized that maybe that wasn't, I don't want to speak for him, but maybe that was, in retrospect, he didn't want to continue to encourage that. And certainly he was someone who I respected.
Did Borg want to play there?
Borg had, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but from what I understand, Borg had agreed to play. It's probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I've had more people of color. I must say, it is one of the greatest things that when people say thank you for not going there. I think I got my karmic payback about 15 years later, because apartheid was finally broken and Nelson Mandela became president. And they had a seniors event in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I went down there for the first time. And then they said, Nelson Mandela would like to meet you. Would you be willing to meet Nelson Mandela? Well, of course, right? And we sat in a room, and he came in. There was one person with him. There was, I guess that was his assistant, but no bodyguards, nothing.
Right.
I sat right next to him, and he said to me, I want to tell you that it's an honor to meet you. And I went, I said, I would have given the $1 million if I had that on tape.
Really?
If all the people that had said, that pain in the ass, you know, that he's such a, I was like, oh my God, this would be incredible. Please.
So he knew about it from 15 years
He listened to, I gave him the racket that I used in 1980, 81. He listened to the match, he told me, when Bjorn and I played at Wimbledon on the radio in Robbins Island.
Wow.
And then I'm thinking, my God, what the hell am I ever complaining about? This guy doesn't have a single cell in his body that seems like he's still, he had any sort of wanted revenge towards anyone or hatred towards people that obviously deserve to be hated. The most magical person I ever met.
Wow. More with John McEnroe when we return to center stage.
Don't be cheated out of overtime pay or tips. Did you work over 40 hours a week without overtime pay? Federal and state labor laws require that most employees receive time and a half pay for over 40 hours a week, even if you have a title and salary such as bank loan officers, assistant store managers, department managers, installers, technicians, tipped wait staff, security guards, and independent contractors. Call the law office of Gottlieb & Associates now at 888-401-9911 for a free case evaluation for overtime pay or consumer fraud. No fee unless we're successful. Get what you're legally entitled to. Call 888-401-9911, or you can find us on the web at www.gottlieblaw.net.
This is Center Stage, everybody. We're talking with Tennis Hall of Famer John McEnroe. In 1981, you win the first of your 3 Wimbledons, and that's against Bjorn Borg. You really liked Borg. That was the one player that you didn't ever snap really on the court. I mean, what was it about him that, I don't know if it calmed you down, or was it a sign of respect to him?
Both. You know, I mean, he never did anything, so anything you did would be magnified, obviously. Okay. Nothing. And also the way he sort of took me under his wing.
So he was a nice guy.
He was a great guy. You know, he's one of the greatest guys you'll meet, a guy's guy. And we played a match early on, probably the 3rd or 4th match we played, and I was going sort of crazy. It got to be about 5-all in the 3rd set, and he pulled me aside. He went like this. He was at the net. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to tell me I'm the biggest ass that ever lived. And I went up there, and I was sort of expecting him to just berate me, which I deserved. And he put his arm around me, and he just said, look, it's okay. This is good. I know. Yeah, this is good. this is incredible. I'm playing like the best player in the world, and it's a great match, and this isn't even a job. This is amazing. It just changed my perspective instantly. And the fact that he did that, when people heard about that in the locker room, other players, all of a sudden it just doubled the respect that people had for me.
Now, in 1983, you won your second Wimbledon title, but when you beat Borg in 81 for the first one, they don't put you in the All-England club, which they're supposed to do for the winners. Now, this time at 83, they do. Why didn't they do it the first time?
Well, basically, I believe my behavior was a bit abominable in their minds. But the main reason, I think, was because when you win the tournament, unlike the other majors, there's this big dinner that you're supposed to attend.
Right.
Neither of whom my father or I really knew that was the case. And there was a bunch of people at my house, friends of mine, rock stars that seemed to be a pretty cool environment to be around when I was celebrating my first Wimbledon win. So I said, the hell with it. I'm going to stay with my friends, and celebrate. That makes more sense.
Now, at the dinner, you danced with the women's winner, right?
Traditionally, I believe you dance with the women's winner.
Who won that year in 81?
81, I don't know. That wasn't the reason why I didn't go. But the thing, I apologize if she was left in the lurch.
Right, she's probably all alone.
Yeah, I'm sure she was devastated. But I didn't realize, the next morning, all of a sudden, when I went to the airport, there was these swarm of sort of bees, which I think translate to paparazzi, sort of like, oh my God. And I'm like, what did I do? I didn't even know then. And it wasn't until a week or two afterwards that they said that I was going to be the first guy in 100 years that wasn't going to be asked to become a member of the All-England Club. So by the time 82 was that loss I talked about with Connors, where he practiced with me all the time. 3, when I got in, I thought it'd probably be a good idea to make amends, that I could suck it up, go over there for a while. It wasn't going to be a bad thing to have people tell me how great I played.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Right.
So it's like commentary. It's like people, hey, you're really good at this. At the first 5 years I did it, I was really pissed. I was like, you're better than you were as a player. What? Come on. I got really upset at people. And then I thought to myself, I started to see people say, and in magazines and stuff, was he better as a player or as a commentator? But I thought, something, I must be pretty good at that. Right. I managed to sort of, Michael, turn this around, because I thought they're saying something nice. I'm not very good at receiving compliments. That was probably my thing. So if you all applaud right about now so that it makes it sound like what I said was really good, I would appreciate it.
John McEnroe goes Hollywood when we come back on center stage. Thank you.
RiverAvBlues.com breaks down Yankees baseball unlike any other blog on the web. From the smallest stats to the biggest issues, River Ave Blues analyzes it all. Plus live blogging during every game and detailed prospect reports. Get all your Yankees bases covered at RiverAvBlues.com.
We had never used a contractor before and didn't know where to start.
At Angie's List, you'll find reviews on everything from home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
No company can pay to be on Angie's List, so you can trust what you're reading.
Angie's List is like having thousands of close neighbors where I can go ask for personal recommendations.
That's the idea. Before you have any work done, check Angie's List.
From roofers to plumbers to dentists and more, Angie's List. Reviews you can trust.
I love you, Angie. Sorry, honey.
What's the difference between eHarmony and dating sites?
eHarmony puts you together based on your personality, and it just makes you feel confident that it's going to work. And it did work.
Visit eHarmony today and review your compatible matches free.
All season, Kia Motors presents Wednesday Night Baseball on Yes. With long drives, speed, power, and performance, getting there just got a lot more fun. Wednesday Night Baseball on Yes, presented by Kia Motors. Visit your tri-state Kia retailers or kia.com.
This is Center Stage. We're having a great time with tennis legend John McEnroe. Now, you meet your first wife, Tatum O'Neal, in October of 84. You marry in 86, and you take a 6-month break from tennis. Why? And in retrospect, was that a good move?
Well, why was mainly because we were going to have a kid.
Okay.
And so I wanted to settle her down. We were pretty young, and I was a bit I guess burnt out would be a word. I had gone extremely hard for 7 or 8 years on the tour. I was going to be 27 when Kevin was born. In other sports, it's not unheard of for players to miss a season because they tore an Achilles, or they've take the off season. Baseball, they play, 6 months? They take 6 months off. All of a sudden, I was saying, look, I'm going to take, say, as it turned out, 5-6 months off. Oh, what's wrong with McEnroe? He's gone off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
No. I needed to regroup a little bit. That's what I needed to do because it was getting to me a little bit. And the plan was to get better after I came back, not to get worse. See, that's the thing. It's like I never for a second decided that I was going to give up the sport. Even my parents for a second thought, you're not going to retire, are you?
Right.
My mom said, you got to keep playing so you can pay for the diapers. I said, Mom, I'm doing okay. Don't worry about the diaper part.
Well, Borg retired at 25, so I guess it wasn't that far-fetched.
I guess that's perhaps why people were thinking about it. But I personally thought that was a huge mistake. And my plan was I never said I was going to stop playing. Unfortunately, I didn't get better. I mean, I tried a whole slew of things, whether it was yoga, weights, doing mountain biking, more stretching, more sprinting, more tennis, less doubles.
Now, you end up going, you're living in Hollywood a lot of the time.
Well, I had a home in Malibu. I'm not sure that you call that Hollywood. I still have a home in Malibu. I think Malibu is a tremendous place.
Mm-hmm.
I have guys that train there, some of the most fanatical trainers that you can train with. I think I may have been doing the wrong training, but I was training more than I ever was. I never lifted a weight till 1986 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't have lifted a weight.
Did you like, although it was Malibu, did you like the Hollywood lifestyle, being married to a Hollywood royalty, an Oscar winner and Tatum O'Neal? Because you're a New Yorker. I mean, that's different. Was it tough for you?
I wouldn't say the tough would be the right word. I think that you get sucked in a little bit. There's no question about that. I thought Tatum was someone who could understand me because she had a lot of success at a very young age.
Right.
And I needed someone who could relate to the fact that I was still young and old at the same time. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but she certainly fell in that category. That, however, took the relationship to a whole new league and level that I was unaware of. I never was in the National Enquirer to 1985.
Right.
I didn't know that all of a sudden this would create this like crazy interest. The key is to be able to sort of juggle it. I didn't do a particularly good job juggling it. And then, by the way, there was this huge change that took place in the sport as well, where all of a sudden people are using different, rackets. Right. It's like if they had gone to a graphite bat all of a sudden. You imagine like what would have happened in baseball with everything else that went on, and they were using graphite bats. So this all sort of came, this perfect storm in a way, and suddenly you go from being 1 or 2 in the world to being 5 to 8 or 10 in the world, struggling to find your way back to the top 5. That's frustrating.
When we come back, Hit and Run with John McEnroe next on Center Stage.
It's the final stop for the Subway Series right here on Yes. Tomorrow, the fight for city supremacy continues as Mark Teixeira and the Yankees are set to sink Jose Reyes and the Mets. Yankees, Mets. Coverage starts tomorrow at noon right here on Yes.
Let's go Yankees!
Do your storage containers and lids let you down when you try to store a tiny bit more? Now you have to find a bigger one and a lid that fits. There's got to be a better way. Introducing WOW, the new interchangeable mix and match storage system that always has room for more. Storing food is not a chore because WOW is easy to use and easy to store. Here's why. Every container is also a lid, so you can use each piece as a bottom or a top. And our universal quick snap seal lets you mix and match with every size container, so you can keep filling above the rim and always customize the perfect one. With 4 different sizes, the possibilities are endless. WOW holds a kitchen full of food, but nests neatly together, taking up less space than a blender. It's perfect for desserts. Never squash the tops again. Just mix and match. Anyone can do that. Add one more scoop, piece, or slice without ever searching for a lid that fits. Even keep foot-long subs fresh, fast, and easy. Plus, they're microwavable, freezer, and dishwasher safe. Never search for a bigger container and a lid that fits again. Order now and receive 10 small-size containers, 5 medium-size containers, 4 large-size containers, and this bonus extra large container. That's 20 containers, all for only $19.95. But wait, order now and we'll double your order free. That's right, you get 40 WOW containers. And there's still more. Call now and get a second 40-piece set free. Just pay separate processing and handling. But we're not done. Now you can eliminate spills, keep flavors in and odors out with our optional deluxe Fresh Lock tabs. They're guaranteed to withstand punishment, yet open with the touch of a finger. You get the entire 80-piece WOW container system, an incredible $100 value for only $19.95. Wow! Order now.
To order WOW containers for just $19.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-578-2035. That's 1-800-578-2035. Or you can visit us online at wowcontainers.com. Order now.
This is Center Stage, and our guest is John McEnroe. John, now it gets tough. Hit and run. I say something, first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You ready? Here we go. Tennis players travel the world. What's your favorite city?
Paris.
Okay. Most difficult or feared opponent on the other side of the net?
Pete Sampras.
Feared, really?
Just when I looked at the score.
Okay. Most memorable match that you ever played in?
The 80 Wimbledon final with Borg.
Favorite moment in your career?
Favorite moment was probably the 80 U.S. Open when I beat Lendl, Connors, Borg consecutively to win that tournament for the second time.
When they make the film of the story of John McEnroe, who plays John?
I think that's going to have to be Sean Penn.
That's a nice one. The championship that you're proudest of?
The 80 Open.
Best piece of advice anyone ever gave you?
It doesn't matter whether you win or lose until you lose.
Something you would tell a first-time New York City tourist to make sure they do or see while in town?
The Metropolitan Museum of Art.
If given a do-over, what would you do differently?
I would win the 84 French Open final.
Is that the one you were down up 2-0? First car that you owned?
74 Ford Pinto.
That's the explodable gas tank?
Explodable.
Nice.
$100.
Nice. First rock concert ever attended?
Grand Funk Railroad.
Favorite concert ever attended?
Rolling Stones at the Meadowlands in 1981, I believe.
Is that a Giant Stadium or the arena?
The arena.
Nice.
Before they got big and people heard of them.
Favorite musician?
Favorite band was Led Zeppelin.
Okay. If you could be the great tennis player you are, or you could have been a great rock star, what would you choose?
I would have been a tennis player.
Really?
Yeah, as much as I would love to have been a guitar player, I think I made the right choice.
Favorite film?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
When John McEnroe is sitting at his house at night watching whatever, you know, the post-game of a Met loss, what's...
No reason for that.
What's your favorite late-night snack?
My favorite late-night snack is a beer and pretzels.
Okay. If you were trapped in a foxhole, what person would you want with you in there to help you get out?
I've got to say my wife, Patty Smythe, now.
Okay, now if it wasn't politically correct, who would it be?
It would be, let's see, Jimmy Carter.
Really? That's too deep to get into. We'll get back in the fifth set with John McEnroe next on Center Stage.
Guests of Center Stage receive dinner for two to the new and incredible Empire Steakhouse. No doubt a home run every time you step up to the plate at Empire Steakhouse.
You want it? We got it.
Get bigger, harder, and stronger with the all-new powerful Tower 200 front body by Jake. You got a door, you got a gym. Check it out. With the Tower 200, you get up to 200 pounds of explosive resistance delivered through our multi-tension power cords and over 200 killer exercises that push your muscles to the max. No dumbbells, no machines, no memberships. You want bicep curls, chest fly, tricep extension, lat pull down, shoulder press, crunches, squats? No problem. But if you're ready to get crazy, check out the mother of all workouts and our 11-minute body shredding routine featuring moves like the Warrior, the Demon, the Freak. Plus, Randy Couture's new 21-minute Supreme Mother of All workouts with totally whacked out moves like the Beast, the Righteous, and the Super Freak.
How bad do you want it?
In seconds, the Tower 200 fits on any door in the house, office, or dorm. Plus, it's padded, so there's no messing up your door. It's brought to you from Body by Jake and features steel frame construction. Arrives 100% assembled and comes with a lifetime warranty. Order now and get your own Tower 200 with 200 pounds of explosive resistance. Plus, the body shredding drop-down workout chart, instructional manual with 200 killer exercises, a set of ankle straps, custom padded grips, the 11-minute Mother of All Workouts DVD, and Randy's all-new Supreme Mother of All Workouts DVD. The Tower 200 will totally transform the way you look and feel. Hey, you get to try it risk-free for only $14.95. Order now, and we'll also include 4 additional Power Pack workouts, so you can isolate biceps, triceps, abs, and chest. And for all you crazy mothers, order now and get an extra 80 pounds of resistance. Come on, you can't find 11 minutes a day? Stop sitting around. Get bigger, harder, and stronger in 30 days, or your money back. The Tower 200 was made for you. Take control of your life. It's time for you to be the boss. Order now.
Let's go, princess.
Welcome to Center Stage. We've had a great time talking with John McEnroe. And then, John, we talked about you being on the air as a tennis commentator. And you're very frank, very, very honest. And I wonder, do you sometimes rankle some players that get in your grill after the game or the match and go, well, what was that?
Sometimes, but I think that people respect honesty, particularly players. And for the most part, the only thing I really get done on players is when they don't make that 100% effort. And I try to make myself always available for that very thing if they feel the need to blow off some steam. I think for the most part, people are understanding. Of course, I'm sure there are times where they want to strangle me a bit.
Now, you're noted for your charity work, John. I'm going to read this off. Member of the Laureus World Sports Academy, the board of directors for the Riverkeeper, Habitat for Humanity, Bicycle for Days, City Parks Foundation, many others. Which ones are the most important to you?
Well, Riverkeeper is probably the most important because it's our river here in New York City, the Hudson River, basically, but it also represents a lot of bigger things, such as nuclear energy, Indian Point, for example. So you can take this to whole new levels, people dumping stuff into the water, which I'm fortunate enough to have a place in Malibu, and you hate to see stuff like that. The Laureus Sport for Good Foundation is important also because it was started with the phrase that Nelson Mandela used, which sport has the ability to change the world, and sport as a tool for hope. And so obviously being a professional athlete, that means a great deal to me, but there's certainly plenty to go around.
Now, you've talked, John, about how the ATP needs a commissioner. If that commissioner happened to be you, what would you do? What would you implement?
Well, there's a lot of things. You would cut the schedule. There's talk of doing more tournaments, men and women together. If I believe that's what we should do, that would be something I would do. I would go back to wood rackets. Is it too late? No, I think it's. I think the cat's out of the bag there. We have to try more things. You know, I think that's the problem with our sport. Very little has changed. The Davis Cup is something that was near and dear to my heart that now is sort of on life support. Doubles is on life support that meant a great deal to me. So we'll have to come back. Maybe you'll invite me back sometimes and we could do a whole new center stage on John McEnroe after 1987 and what he would do to change tennis.
All right, 2 quick things. You know, a lot of the times that you argued when you were a young player, there were incorrect calls. Now there's challenges and there's unbelievable replay. Do you think you'd be less angry if you were playing at that top level now?
I do think so. I would spare a lot of that energy, and I think I would have won some more bigger events.
Right.
Please, wasn't it there then? They would have proved me right.
Now you have never ever you've never retired.
Never retired.
Now there's a lot of people that think that if you played on the men's tour right now, you'd be very competitive and you could still win a lot of matches. Would you be able to?
I don't believe that for a second.
You don't believe it? Could you win on the women's tour?
I would do better on the women's tour.
John, thanks so much.
Michael,
this was so much fun.
Thank you.
That's John McEnroe. I'm Michael Kay. And this is Center Stage. So long, everybody.
What I like about John McEnroe as a player, his amazing emotion in every game made him the great star that he was.
I love McEnroe's tantrums. When I was growing up as a tennis player playing high school, I did the same thing because when seeing that from a tennis star, you know that he wants to win.
Call Lava Life Voice now and find what you're looking for. There are always exciting local singles to talk to anytime, day or night. You'll be amazed how much fun you can have on the phone, and it's free to try. Record a greeting, then listen and respond to other callers. When you're ready, you can even talk live, so it's easy finding people just like you. Get your free trial now. Call Lava Life Voice now and find what you're looking for. Win a trip to Punta Cana. Visit lavalifevoice.com/win to find out how.
Go beyond the flirt and call Quest Chat. There's never a chance of letting that rush of excitement pass you by. Every time you call Quest Chat and meet someone new, you'll feel that rush. There are hundreds of local singles waiting to talk to you. It's easy to use, and best of all, it's free to try. So what are you waiting for? Call Quest Chat now and feel that rush.
Try it free. Call 212-812-1212 now.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
The Yankees are back on top, world champions for the 27th time.
The players that got the Yankees at 27 World Series championships were the ones that were going to walk away with the most valuable player and Cy Young awards.
The American League's most valuable player, Mickey Mantle, is all set for another fence-busting season.
Swung on and missed, got him with a breaking ball.
The press had all but conceded that I was going to win the Cy Young Award.
What an exhibition by the Louisiana Lightning Man.
There were so many preeminent players, so many celebrated events.
Safe hits in 36 consecutive games.
The first pitcher in the history of baseball to begin 20-1.
The 2007 American League Most Valuable Player, Alex Rodriguez.
The magical season continues. MVP indeed.
These Yankees brought honor and glory to Yankee Stadium and to all of New York.
Hear that chant? It's MVP.
When you're looking at most valuable player, that word value sticks out.
The big guy who had so much to do with the Yankees winning the pennant.
Without him, the Yankees are dead.
What he's doing with his average, with the power.
Fastball hit
He is an MVP type player.
It's no surprise that the Yankees, the most successful team, are also the dominant team when it comes to voting for most valuable player and Cy Young.
Individual brilliance has always been part of the foundation for Yankee greatness.
Yes, sir, the Bombers did it again. 5 World Series in a row.
22 MVPs and 5 Cy Young Award winners have been the cornerstone of 27 World Series titles, more than any other team in baseball.
And the Yankees are champions. And look at Barrow.
Part of the genius of the Yankee dynasty was the handing off of one great player to another without missing a beat.
No other club in Major League Baseball can match this proud collection of players.
A brilliant, record-breaking competitor. One of the immortals of the diamond.
In this special edition of Yankeeography, we'll look back at all these award winners from the past. Men whose historic MVP and Cy Young seasons often help propel their teams to the shared glory of World Series championships.
Driven deep to center field. See ya! A game-winning walk-off grand slam for Alex Rodriguez.
He's great with men on base. He's had a super season.
The New York Yankees, world champions, most successful franchise of the century.
The MVP award we know today originated in the early 1900s as a means for advertising by automobile magnate Hugh Chalmers.
The Chalmers Award was given to the player with the highest batting average, but that was strictly a statistical award.
In 1911, the Chalmers Award was given to the year's most important player to the club and league.
It had some strange rules, though. First of all, you could not win the award more than once. It was the first rule that we changed in 1931.
That was when the Baseball Writers Association of America became the organization responsible for choosing the most valuable player in each league. The process is the one that is still used today, having crowned Yankee MVPs from Lou Gehrig all the way to Alex Rodriguez.
Hi, Alex.
How are you? How you doing?
Good.
It's no surprise that the Yankees are also the dominant team when it comes to our voting for Cy Young.
That is, of course, the award now bestowed on the best pitcher in each league, named after the man with 511 victories, the most in Major League history.
It honors a baseball player whose lifetime statistics are simply extraordinary to symbolize baseball excellence as well as achievement.
The man who won more games than any Yankee in history, Ed Whitey Ford.
The great Whitey Ford won a Cy Young Award for the Yankees, and so did Roger Clemens.
He has been as dominating as he's ever been.
Today, new generations of Yankees seek to share that hallowed award with those who've been honored throughout the years.
It would mean a lot to be mentioned in the light with, Whitey Ford and Roger Clemens. I don't think I'm at the point where they are, but to be able to be a part of that history would be great.
But before we look to the future, let's relive and reflect on the illustrious history of past Yankee Award winners. For these unforgettable MVP and Cy Young Award seasons were legendary, often victorious, and inevitably a part of Yankee lore.
Yankeeography on Yes is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. Play Mega Millions today for your chance to live large. New York Lottery. Hey, you never know.
Are you all ready? Are you ready? Get set. Are you ready? Get set. Are you ready? Is your cat put out? Is he iron off? We don't want to come home to a fire. Have you trimmed your beard? Are your sandals shine? No. Are you all ready? Are you ready? Get set. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go.
There I was, sleeping at my desk. I was snoring so loud I woke myself up. That's exactly when I had my mattress moment. I was tossing, turning, not sleeping well. So I went to the mattress gallery at Raymore and Flanagan. Their experts helped me find the right bed for me. They even delivered it the next day. Now everything's cool. Okay, I'm still snoring, but at least it's in my own bed.
Raymore and Flanagan's Mattress Gallery. Dreams start here. Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka.
In their first 17 years in the American League, the Yankees were mostly just another team. They hadn't reached the World Series and didn't really have any one player who stood out amongst the rest. But prior to the 1920 season, they acquired Babe Ruth from the five-time world champion Boston Red Sox. And that changed everything.
It is cemented in baseball lore. He was baseball's all-time greatest player. They all knew that they were watching history.
Babe hit 148 home runs his first 3 years in New York, more than 10 teams during that span. When the Yankees moved to their new stadium in '23, it became known as the house that Ruth built.
When you went to Yankee Stadium, you expected something incredible, terrific to happen. And Ruth provided it often as not.
That year, the Babe led the American League in an amazing 8 major offensive categories. Among them, RBIs, runs scored, total bases, and slugging percentage. He also set a major league record for walks that would stand for 78 years. And of course, he hit the most home runs, 41, a dozen more than the league's next best.
A home run by the matchless Babe.
His career-high batting average of .393 ranked second in the American League.
What a season it's been for the Babe.
And the Yankees had their first MVP. One who carried the team to the World Series. where he had 3 more home runs, scored 8 times, and helped the Yankees christen their new home with their first ever championship.
The Bambino was crowned King of SWAT by manager Huggins.
Ruth introduced a new era with a fabulous assertion of excellence.
Ruth continued to have MVP caliber seasons and was off the charts in 1927. But because the rules forbid a player to win this league award more than once, he was not eligible for the honor. So his teammate Lou Gehrig became the Yankees' second MVP in 27.
Gehrig in 1927, he just exploded.
Lou Gehrig, a young slugger just coming into his own.
And Larrapin Lou didn't only win the award because Ruth couldn't. No, Gehrig had one of the greatest seasons of all time. He finished second in the majors to Ruth with 47 home runs. And he bested Ruth with 218 hits and a .373 batting average.
Gehrig was a savage hitter. He was known to hit the most ferocious line drives in all directions. Wherever that ball was pitched, he just demolished it. And if you look at Gehrig's doubles and triples, you'll see that's true.
Indeed. Gehrig led the league in 1927 with 52 doubles and 447 total bases, while driving home a record-setting 175 runs.
The 175 runs batted in is even more phenomenal because that was the year Ruth hit 60 home runs. And Gehrig was in the lineup behind Ruth. So Gehrig came to bat 60 times that year after Ruth had cleaned the bases.
The Yankees also cleaned up in the Fall Classic, capturing their second World Series title behind the heroics of Gehrig and Ruth.
That was the season that Gehrig told baseball, in my own right, I am as great a player